So some of you know that there's a presidential event going on here. And that come November, you're going to be deciding who you want to be the next president of this great nation. And it is on now. It is everywhere I go. As I said yesterday in the fellowship, I can't even go to the gym unless people are talking about it. And either you're on the side of the Great White Hope or you're on the side of Kamala. And that's all everybody's talking about. And everybody's saying the same thing about it. I'll be glad when it's over. And so we can talk about other things. You know what I mean? But I understand. It is a mess. I'm still a little surprised. I understand human nature now. But I'm a little surprised that there's one soul in America that would not only vote for Kamala, but even consider voting for Kamala Harris. And she has nothing to offer but more abortions. More abortion. She has nothing to offer but more abortion. But I understand, especially white women love abortions. Really. I do understand, but I'm saying I don't understand why I really do understand. Why white women love abortion. They love killing the man's children in the womb. Other colored women, other women love it too. But white women love abortions. And so that is, I believe, one of the primary reasons that they support Kamala Harris, and especially educated white women, because they are so stuck on their imagination that they are actually being like men. They just think that killing the man's children in the womb is taking control of their lives. It's their body, their choice, and they can kill the baby if they want to. And Kamala Harris is for abortion all the way, just abortion crazy. And so a lot of educated white women are supportive of Kamala Harris because she is for abortion. It's unfortunate that white women are for abortions because in killing the white babies, they're causing white people to become few in numbers in the United States of America, in their own country. And as a result of becoming few in numbers, it's over for America. Because colored people, not all, but most, want white Americans out of the way. And so these white women, in an unconscious way, don't know that they are helping to destroy themselves. They are supported in destroying themselves. Isn't that amazing? Now, not all white women are for abortion, but a whole bunch are. And the more educated they are, the more they're in support of abortion. Isn't that amazing? And so it's very, very interesting what's happening right now. According to Fox, two pro-life Wisconsin college students, it says they were doing God's work by going into the lion's den and shouting pro-life Christian message at Vice President Harris during a rally on their university campus last week. Watch this soundbite from Fox News.
We remember Donald Trump handsomely elected 3 members of the United States Supreme Court with the intention that they would undo the protections of Roe v. Wade, and they did as he intended. Oh, you guys are at the wrong rally. No, I think you meant to go to the smaller one down the street.
Because Kamala Harris just definitely for Christ being king. What? Nah. That's for sure. You are at the wrong rally, she says. Christ is not king up in here. We're promoting killing children in the womb. And see how many white women are there? White women love abortions. Whatever. And that's why they're supporting Kamala Harris. Because they want to kill the children in the womb. Poor kids don't have a chance to make it to the earth. And those other, the ones who were shouting, Christ is king. Apparently an interviewer wanted to know if Kamala Harris understood their message. And here's what the student said. Watch this from Fox.
I want to know specifically what she is rejecting. I know you can't know because you weren't in her mind, but you can know what did you make clear?
Yeah, so I said Jesus is Lord due to the abortion Roe v. Wade she was talking about, which me and many Christians around the world disagree with her stance on abortion. And we wanted to kind of send in a message that, you know, as Christians, at least me and Grant, we don't accept or agree with her abortion policies, and that we believe that Jesus is Lord and that he has the final say in everything we do. And it's something we center our life around. So I guess we wanted her to know that.
Amazing. Christ is king, and they wanted her to know that. Kamala can care less about Christ. So what do you think about the fact that those two guys went there and were chanting, Christ is Lord or King, whatever they chanted at that rally? Was that a right thing to do or not? Kamala Harris made it clear you're in the wrong rally. Christ is not king up in here. Abortion is king. Another thing I realized is that they keep saying that the Supreme Court overturned Roe versus Wade. They didn't overturn it. They turned it back over to the states and allowed the voters to decide. And allowing the voters to decide if they want abortion or not. They did not overturn Roe versus Wade, but it sounds more drastic and desperate when they say they overturned, but they did not overturn Roe versus Wade. So one last soundbite on this. One of the students believed they were sent there by God. This is from Fox.
We did God's work, and we were there for the right reasons. And God is watching us in this moment. You know, I'm all about being a cordial person, no matter your beliefs. But I do believe that we were sent there by God. And I do believe this timing, 18 days before the election, is imperative for young Americans and first-time voters like myself to understand that this is what you are going to get with a Kamala Harris presidency.
That's for sure. But those white women don't care. They want to kill. They hate their fathers. They hate God. And as a result, they hate unborn children. They hate the daddy of the children, so they want to kill the babies. They don't care if Jesus is God or not. I wonder, by them going there and saying that at that rally that they changed one mind. Did they change one heart? Amazing, huh? What a mess! He believed that they believed that they were sent there by God and that they were doing the Lord's work. I do have to say the response of Kamala Harris was interesting. And that she said, you're at the wrong rally. Jesus not Lord. She didn't say this, but implied for sure. Jesus not Lord up in here. We're talking about abortion. It was interesting to see, at least there was a couple guys up there protesting against it. They were speaking out about it. That was good, I think. That was okay. Because normally guys don't get involved with that. They just let the woman kill their children and they're fine. Very, very interesting thing happened here. And some people believe that Kamala is winning. She's winning in spite of what the polls are saying. I don't know. I am having a wait and see attitude at this point. Wait and see. Anything can happen between now and then. Desperate people would do desperate things. And then, you know how Kamala Harris said that. So I want to know that they do the right thing by going to Kamala Harris rally and shouting, Christ is Lord. Are they from that group that says, Christ is King? What's his name?
You mean the Groypers?
No, the guy down in Florida.
Nick
Nick Fontane's group.
Yeah, the Groypers. They call
Cozy.tv. Christ, I wonder if they're from, I don't know. I mean, are they part of that organization?
No, they're good. They're just good, regular, right, Jesse?
Might be.
Don't get them slandered. No.
No, I'm
Not
not.
slander,
I said
but,
I wonder. I don't know.
What's the word?
It reminded me of Cozy.tv where Christ is King when I heard it. So
Same.
good for them. Amazing. What were you saying, Nick?
No, I agree. I was trying to make a joke about not getting them in trouble with their university or something like that.
Oh.
But you're not getting them in trouble.
Well, those white guys could get in trouble anyway because white people hate it. And when they find out it was two white guys to stir it up for what is right, anything is possible. If you're white, you are not allowed to stand up for anything that's good. So we'll see what happens. JAZMIN is out of Texas. JAZMIN, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jesse.
Good morning, JAZMIN.
I was calling you because I agree with so much you say, and maybe 9 months ago, I had talked to you. My husband had passed away, and I was trying to move forward. And right now, I'm in a situation where I met a guy, and I've never had babies before, and I'm pregnant. And he's in jail, and I believe he's in jail for unfair reasons, and he wants me to bail him out, and I want to bail him out, But at the same time, like, we've been having arguments financially because he's never been able to step up. I own a home, and I asked him if we were going to get married, and because when we first started talking, that's what he wanted. And when I talked to him this time about it, he gave me 9 different answers, and basically all of them seemed to me to be a no. He told me he had cold feet. He told me that he didn't want to marry me because he had to. He wanted to marry me because he loved me. He was crying when he told me that one. And basically, by the end of the day, he changed his answer, and he was like, "Yes, I want to marry you." And I asked him questions that I had. I asked him, "Do you see me as wife material? Do you see that because you've seen it before? What happened? Like, is it something that I'm not doing or that I'm doing?" And so by the end of the day, he changed his answer, but he doesn't want to step up financially, and that's where we have been having a lot of problems. Since I got pregnant, I've been living off of my savings. I own my own home, and I have my car, and this is before I met him. When I met him, he was trying to get on his feet. He finished school, but he has a school loan. He has debts. And I was just looking for ways for us to come together. And he says, "I can't pay the bills because I have to pay my debts." And I told him, "Well, let's get you out of debt, and then you can take over the bills. But I'm not working right now, and it would be nice for you to take over." And that's been really hard for him to accept, so I don't push on it. So this last time when things get so physical to the point where I have to kick him out of the house. And because he doesn't give me my space when we're inside of the house. And he becomes like, with his words, very like, he starts calling me a bitch and all these stuff. And I'm like, I don't have to deal with that. Like, we have 3 rooms in the house. Go to one of the rooms. I'll go to the other one. And when we're ready to talk, we'll talk. But I can't talk to you right now because I'm just going to meet you at your level, and it's just going to get ugly. And he never tends to do that, so it always reverts to the same thing, me kicking him out. And then he uses that against me and says, "This is why I don't want to take over the bills. This is why, because you're just going to take advantage of me." And I'm like, first of all, I make more money than you. Secondly, I'm telling you that I'm going to help you get out of debt so you can take over. I'm like, I'm 2 months away from delivering, and I need to know what I have to do financially, and you're not showing up that area. So it's just something we've been going back and forth with. And recently, we decided to rent out my home, and then he was going to take over the bills. So he finally decided to do that, and we did it. We put the marriage to the side. But then whenever we got the first tenant, we literally got the person to come over and say, "Yes, I want the house." And he gave me the down payment, and I deposited that in my account and everything. And we were just I was overjoyed because I was like, we're doing it. We're finally preparing like for the baby, and you're doing your part, I'm doing my part. We're working on ourselves, and we're going against every thought that goes through our head. And we were fine. We were like, okay, let's go get groceries. On our way to groceries, he changes his behavior completely. And I asked him, like, is everything okay? Did I do something? Did I say something? And he said, "No, I'm just thinking." So I leave him alone. Like, I give him his space. And later on, he blows up on me and says, "Well, I just feel like you're getting the better end of the stick because I'm over here going to start paying your bills, and you already have tenants." And I told him, I told you what we were going to do with the money. We were going to take you out of debt. I'm like, yes, my house is being paid for, but the remaining balance is going towards us, towards what our family. Like, this is what we're aiming for. It's like, and I tell him, like, I see this 2 ways. You could be selfish, or you could feel like you're being left behind. And either way, I understand, but you need to communicate with me because I don't understand where you're coming from. Are you being selfish and self-centered, or are you just afraid that you're being left behind and everything? I'm like, anywhere you go, you're going to pay bills. anywhere you go, you're going to have to pay your debt. And I'm helping you through it all. Like, if you don't want my help, then that's fine. But I need to part ways from you because we're not married. And I need financial stability, not only for me, but my child's on the way. So he ends up getting nasty again and bringing up the past. And I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to have the same conversations with you that I did. If you don't understand, if we're not, on the same page on things, you need to leave. So he lingers around, like, talking to me a lot of mess. So I tell him, you know what? If you don't get your stuff, because I start gathering his stuff, I tell him, if you don't get your stuff, I'm going to take them out for you. And he's like, you better not touch my things. He ends up getting my computer and breaking it, and he hits me in the face with it. And it flies out the house. Then I'm like, okay. And then we get very, like, physical with each other to the point I'm like, this is where it always ends. This is where we always end up. And then, like, I'm tired of doing that, but I had to call the cops because he broke the windows to my house, the one I was going to rent out, and now he wants me to bail him out. And the police want to keep him there, even though I don't want to press charges. They want to keep him there, and he can lose his job. He could lose a little financial stability that he does have. And I don't know what to do anymore because I understand that I myself bring him to that point, but there's a point where he needs to react, and he's just not doing that part. So what am I supposed to do in a situation like this where I'm asking for space, I'm communicating with him, but every time we talk about one thing, he goes back to the other one. And we're just going back and forth over the same things.
And so your question for me is what?
How do you get through when you're working in a relationship with someone? How do you get through that moment where they keep looking at the past? And when we talked about the past and situations we've had, I thought we came to the same understanding.
And your question for me is what?
How do we work through that? As myself personally, how do I work through that?
So you've been married before your husband expired?
Yes.
And how long were you married?
We were married for 4 years, but he had problems with being very sexually active with other women. And I know it was something he had to overcome, so I always just gave him his space on that too. And he would not come home for weeks and stuff. And
why did you have kids with him?
I didn't have kids with him. I never had children. This is actually my first pregnancy.
I know, but why didn't you have with your husband?
I couldn't get pregnant.
Oh, okay.
We did try. Yeah.
Right.
I've been told since I was a teenager that I was going to have complications getting pregnant.
How old are you?
Right now, I'm 30, and this is what kind of like, I'm not embarrassed of it, but I just don't understand why I'm going through it at this age.
You want me to tell you why?
Why?
You're insane.
Okay.
You lost your mind. JAZMIN, it doesn't make one iota of sense. And I understand that you can't see, I guess, but it doesn't make sense that you are trying to make a relationship work with someone. You are trying to take care of a man. You're letting him move in your place and destroying that. You have moved out because of him. You, according to you, he's in prison or jail. You are thinking about bailing him out. You said he hit you upside the head with a computer. He called you a bitch. What's wrong with you? You're trying to make something work that should not be. Why is that?
I know it sounds like I'm protecting him or whatever.
No, it sounds like you're insane.
Okay, well, yeah, it sounds like I'm insane.
You are insane.
It's because he hit me with the computer.
No, that ain't the issue.
Accident. He didn't come towards me, attack me. Yes.
You're not. You're allowing this. You're destroying your life to be with a man. You think this is love?
No.
What's wrong with you? You had your own house, you had your own job, you were financially doing your own thing, and you let some guy come into your life and destroy it. And why?
I got pregnant, and I didn't want to like give my child that. I didn't want to go out without a fight. I didn't want to.
What kind of fight?
I don't know, going against myself, like.
What kind of fight you didn't want to go out without? You're a fighter. You're in a fight.
Yes.
You can't make another person be right. You can't even make yourself right. You're trying to fix a man so you could be with him?
No. And honestly, he had left for 3 weeks before this happened.
JAZMIN, that ain't the issue at all. You would have. You sound like you were set up pretty good. You had your own home. You were doing your own thing. You met a man that could. You got moved into your home. According to you, you got to take care of him. You're trying to make him right so you could be with him. That never works. Why don't you see that? That's insane.
I don't. I thought that I was putting aside money. I thought I was putting aside control, but it's another form of control than trying to fix him or trying to help him. It's just sometimes the way he talks, he
JAZMIN, it's not about him. It's about you. You are doing insane things. You're destroying yourself. I can't blame him. He got his own. He has his own issues, but you are destroying yourself, and I don't know why. Why are you destroying yourself?
I just don't want to do this whole single mom thing.
But you're going to end up in the gutter. You and the baby.
Yeah. Like, I've even offered him. I'm like, we can just co-parent peacefully.
JAZMIN.
Yes.
Leave that man alone, and you start working. Get your home back. Get your life back, and the baby will be fine.
Okay. It's just a lot of things happen. Like, I saw this video where this guy was like, he's like a child predator. And he said that whenever he looks for his victims, he always looks at the family, the parents. And if the dad's not present, he always goes towards those as his victims because the dad's not present, so there is no protection in the house.
JAZMIN.
And
JAZMIN.
Yes?
Cut it out. The baby is better off in a single home than this situation that you're talking about now. The baby is better off with you living in your home, working at peace, and just living and setting a good example. You're trying to make something happen that's not going to be. Don't you see that you're not supposed to be paying this man bills, trying to make him right, trying to make him love you, trying to make him be the daddy to the baby? And you're losing everything. Don't you see you're losing everything, including your mind? You're losing everything.
Yeah, I do see that I'm losing everything.
So why don't you stop?
Honestly, because I see so many women that are so selfish and self-centered and all about money. Like I know women that would just have sex with men just to get money out of them.
What that have to do with you?
I wanted to put those things to the side, but...
Yeah, you put them to the side, all right.
Yeah, but it's...
JAZMIN, what you're doing is insane.
Okay. Yes. There's just so much I don't understand. Like, how come I never got pregnant when I was married?
You said you couldn't get pregnant, that's why.
Yeah.
So why is that hard to understand?
I don't know, because the order of how things should be, like,
How should things be?
you should get married. You should establish a relationship. And I know you're never going to meet someone fully, but
And where did you get those ideas from?
I don't know. I've always seen so many unfunctional families, and it's always the same thing.
And you're doing the same thing too. You're going right down into the same hell that all those families are in. Why?
Because I've seen single moms, and everything you say is right.
And what does that have to do with you, though? You're doing some insane stuff. You're trying to make a relationship work. You're not supposed to try to make any relationship work. You're not supposed to put 1 minute into trying to make a relationship work.
Okay.
You're trying to make a man, according to you, you're trying to make a man who can't take care of himself take care of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
You're trying to make a man who can't take care of himself take care of you. Does that make sense?
No.
Why are you doing that then? Are we going to a break? What? Hold on, Jasmine.
Okay.
All right. 888-77-JESSE. I want to go back to Jasmine from Texas. And so Jasmine, I had to put on hold. We ran out of time there. Jasmine, husband expired. She had been married 4 years, I believe. So no kids with her husband. She met a guy, dated this guy, got pregnant by this guy, and prior to that, she owned her own home, according to Jasmine. Her own home job, taking care of herself, just having a normal life. She met this guy. She let this guy move in. He wasn't working. She tried to take care of him financially. She tried to pay his bill, help him get out of the trouble. According to Jasmine, they had a fight. He hit her with a computer. He's in jail. And now she wanted to bail him out of jail. She gave up her house and rented it out. And what a mess. Jasmine.
Yes.
So am I right in the way I laid that out?
There's some facts that I would like to correct.
Do you have a fire alarm going off there in your home?
I have you on my ear. I don't have you on speaker or Bluetooth.
I hear like a chirping, like the fire alarm need a battery or something.
Can you hear me now better?
Well, not that I couldn't hear you. I heard that, but go ahead.
Oh, okay. Well, there were some facts that I would like to correct you on.
Okay.
When he didn't attack me with the computer, he was trying to throw it out the door. I know it didn't make it any better. I'm just trying to say he didn't attack me.
Oh, okay.
But that's why he's in jail, because they think that he attacked me.
And you called the police on him, right?
I called the police on him because he was starting to vandalize the property. And I told him I didn't want to press charges for the hit that I had in my face. I just needed him to stop vandalizing the property.
Okay.
And they told me that was court, but since I had like physical, bruises or blood or whatever, that they had to, rather, if I didn't do it, the state was going to do it because I was considered family abuse. And that's why he's in jail. And the other thing is, he does work. He's worked since I met him. He was just barely getting a stability when I met him.
And so why are you trying to pay his bills then if he works?
I was trying to put us in a situation that I saw that I was capable of doing.
You were capable. You want to pay his bills because you want to put him in a situation that you are capable of doing. You say?
I wanted to pay his debt so he can take over the bills.
But
like
but
the
what makes
mortgage.
you think he can take over the bills when he can't even pay his own debts?
Yeah, it's just, yeah, I can't argue with that.
No, that
That's
was a
true.
question.
Oh, well, because he did make money. It's just he was still trying to pay off his school and things like that.
How old is he?
But he's 35.
And you're how old?
I'm 30.
And so it makes sense to you that you're going to pay off a man's debt so that he can take over. And what sense does that make to you? Why that makes sense to you?
It made sense to me because since my husband died, I've been using my savings and little by little here and there because I've been trying to make ends meet since he was gone.
But if this man is capable of handling finance around the house, wouldn't he already be taking care of his own finance first?
Yes. I just saw it as we were kind of helping each other, leaning on each other in different ways. But
how is he helping you?
He was going to take over.
How is he helping you?
When it comes down to financially, when I was going to deliver, I wasn't going to have any more savings because my mortgage was going to eat it up and everything. And he was going to start taking financial responsibility.
But shouldn't he already be doing that before you lose all you have?
Yeah, I was already, even with or without him, I was already losing what I had because my husband would help me with everything, and I had a job and everything. He helped me maintain my property, and then he passed. So I was stuck with.
Did your husband have a job?
Oh yeah, he had a lot of businesses. He.
Okay. So Jasmine, what's your question for me?
Well, right now I understand everything you're telling me. And
what am I telling
I agree
you?
with everything. That I'm insane and that I need to stop doing what I'm doing, and that it's okay for me to focus on what I was already doing to begin with. Yes, I got pregnant out of wedlock. I understand that. It's wrong. But me taking him out of his troubles isn't going to help him. It's just going to help him temporarily, but he's still going to face the same situation until he realizes for himself what needs to be changed.
So since this guy has been in your life, have things gotten better or worse for you?
In a way, I would say that there have been areas in my life that I haven't been able to experience, and I was always afraid to.
Have things gotten better or worse since this guy been in your life?
From what I can see, they've gotten worse.
And yet you want him in your life.
I thought they were getting worse because of me personally.
They are, because you're turning your life over to someone that is not capable of taking care of himself.
Yeah, I just saw myself like as someone that was the instigator or I'm angry, I'm the woman, so I'm the problem. And
Jasmine.
Yes.
I'm going to have to run, but let me ask. You said that you were trying to make this happen with this man because it was wrong for you to get pregnant out of wedlock?
Yes.
Why is that wrong?
Because it's a divided family.
Why is that wrong?
Because it's something that happened between two people that didn't love each other. It was more like a transaction, and it was selfish.
And you said it was a divided family?
Yeah.
Did you have a family with this guy?
No.
How was it divided then?
Well, I just mean in the sense that unity was never part of the original choice to come together and have sex. Like we didn't have sex in the sense that we were united and we wanted a family. We just had sex just because. And
so you made one mistake by doing this, and you have a baby out of wedlock. You're gonna make another mistake by destroying your life.
Yeah, no, I just honestly, I wanted to thank you for taking my call because I was going insane. But I don't know. I don't know why I thought that this is what I had to push through. This is what I had to.
Why is it wrong that you got pregnant? You didn't tell me why is it wrong.
Because when me and him or anyone, whenever they get together, it's like everything that comes with it. Like, are you getting with someone because you want to feel your ego, or you're getting with someone because you want to take advantage of
why? Because of time. Why is it wrong that you got pregnant out of wedlock?
Because the baby's going to be raised without the second support if it's not a family. Like I don't think that it's right to raise a child on your own. It's very difficult. Like, children need both their parents present, not just in the same house, but working on themselves.
But you're still not telling me why it's wrong.
I don't know how else to tell you.
And why do you call that wrong?
Because I've seen it so many times fail this way.
What?
I've seen bringing up children as a single individual fail.
So you think that you got pregnant out of, and then I'm going to have to run because you got a little noise in the background, but you think that, so you got pregnant out of wedlock, you tried to make the man be what you want him to be because you think it'll be better for the baby?
Not like the way it's going, no.
JAZMIN,
No.
so here's what I recommend doing, because your whole story is insane. I don't even know what to do with it. It's not,
I don't know what to do with it.
It's not even, the conversation is not even logical.
Yeah.
I recommend do what you want, right?
Yeah.
That you get back on track. You go back and get your house, unless you think it's better that you rent it out. But you go back and get your home, find yourself a job, start working on you, settle down, start working on you, and you and the baby will be fine.
Yeah.
You can't make a man be what you want him to be. He's never going to be right if he become what you want him to be.
Yeah.
You're not God. Yeah. You can't make a man be what you want him to be.
That's true. Thank you, Jesse, for taking my call.
You can't even make yourself be right because you're doing crazy things. Are you doing the silent prayer?
Yes, I was.
Do you do it every morning and every night?
I didn't do it last night. I stopped doing it last night.
Have you been doing it every morning, every night?
No.
So you have not been doing it?
No.
So you're not working on yourself?
No, not these couple of days.
JAZMIN, I recommend you start working on yourself because your mind right now is not clear. It's insane. And having a baby out of wedlock is neither right nor wrong. It works better when you have a father and a mother together. It works better for everybody when it's that way, but you can't make it be that way.
Yeah.
And so stop calling it right or wrong, because now you're trying to correct what you think is a wrong, and you're creating a big old wrong that is, you're going to end up in a ditch. You and your baby going to end up on the street.
That's true. I have nothing to say because I know that's true. I had to doubt myself because I'm a woman, and I had to doubt myself. That's not
why you doubt yourself. You doubt yourself because you live in your imagination. It has nothing to do with you being a woman. You're living in your head. You're angry. You can't see.
Okay.
It's not because you're a woman.
understand that more.
And if you get this man out of, do what you want, but if you get this man out of jail, it's just going to make your situation even worse. Why don't you let him get himself out of jail?
No, yeah, I am. But now that I've talked to you, like,
Have you been
I
putting
just
money
thought
on
it
his
was
book?
evil. What was that?
You've been putting money on his book.
No. I don't even know what that is.
Have you been accepting collect calls from jail?
Oh, yeah. I accepted one call yesterday. That's what the book is.
Well, the book is they want the inmates want you to put money on their book so they can spend the
Oh,
money
no, I'm not doing that.
in jail. Jasmine,
Yes, sir. Yes.
I recommend you let this man work his own life out. You stay out of it, and you work on you, and whatever's meant to be will happen naturally.
Okay.
Because
Yeah.
he's going to hate you that you're playing mama in his life.
Yeah, he already hates me. So.
And so you know it. Why don't you pull away then?
No, I am. I wouldn't know what to tell my child, you know.
Don't worry about how old is the baby.
Well, the baby's not even born. I'm pregnant.
So why are you worried about what you're going to say to the child? The child not even here.
Yeah, sure. I
No,
shouldn't
why
worry
are
at
you
all.
concerned about that?
Because, like, people tend to lie a lot. Like, my parents lied to me. They would lie to me about.
Jasmine, why are you concerned about what you're going to say to a baby that's not even born yet?
Because everything affects him. Like, everything is.
Jasmine,
Yes.
have a wait and see. You'll be fine. Work on you, and you'll know what
Okay.
to say to the baby. That's crazy.
Okay.
Don't even think about that at this point.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you.
Did this help?
Yeah, it really did. Like,
In what
for
way?
you to just tell me that I'm insane.
You are insane.
Yeah. It
You
was
put
just like,
the
okay.
You put the
Yeah.
in insane.
So that really helped. And I'm like, okay, so I was thinking straight. Me doing all of this is the part that's insane. So, yeah. Thank you.
Jasmine, stop leave this man alone. You're creating a problem for you and him.
Yeah, that's very true.
And just focus on your life, work on yourself, overcome the anger, and the baby will be fine.
Okay. I will do. Thank you so much, Jesse.
Let me know how it goes.
Okay. You have a good day.
All right. 888-7753-773. Amazing. I don't even know what to do with that situation. It's so insane. There's no room for even logic to get in there. Chris is out of Nevada. Chris, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. Thanks for having me.
Yes, sir.
My name's Chris. I'm in Nevada. I just called because yesterday I have 3 stepkids with this woman. I have 2 kids with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then the oldest one is 14. And we have custody over the other 2. And
So she already had 3 when you got with her?
yeah.
And then you made 2 more with her?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And then so sorry. So they're playing at the house normal. I'm cooking. And then the older one, I'm noticing he's hanging out with the kids outside. That's like, thugs or whatever. And I'm just noticing it. And then a few minutes later, he runs up to the house, slams his scooter on the ground, and is like, I'm finna go fight this girl or whatever. And basically, he got in a fight with a girl or something. And he was causing a big old scene, and he went back down to go fight the girl again. So, I follow him, try to stop him. And then when we get over there, I see the girls, and they with their brothers, and they're all concerned, and I let everybody know it's not going down like that. So then basically, he's trying to fight the girl, and I tell him we're not doing that. I grab him and we go, and then he gets to tripping on me like,
How old
my
is he?
dad's gonna beat you up. 14.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
yeah, he's tripping out, causing a scene. And he's like, my dad's going to whoop you, keep your hands off me, da, da, da. And I'm just trying to stop him from getting in a fight with the girl. So I had to drag him, like, across the entire apartment complex from one side to another, which is probably like 200 yards. And the whole time he's fighting back, trying to pinch my nerves, trying to get free, do anything. And I'm just not letting him. And then eventually, like we get almost back to the house. And the whole time I'm trying to keep, calm, sensible. But, like, he's just going off. And, like, he just got to cussing me out, like, calling me the N-word, doing this and that. So I gave him, like, so I slapped him in his mouth. And I told him, don't say that no more. Like, say it again, I'm going to slap you again. So, like,
is he white or black?
Control him. He's half, so he's both.
Oh, okay. And so you slapped him in the mouth and what?
And then I dragged him back to the house, and it just so happened my mother was, over visiting.
Hold on, Muddy. Hold on. I'm sorry. Hold on. Don't hang up. I want to go back to Chris out of Nevada. So Chris is with a woman who already had 3 children. He has 2 with her. Now he has some problem with one of the step children. Am I right about that, Chris?
Yes.
Go ahead. So you were trying to discipline this boy, according to you. And then he called you the N-word, and you bopped him in the mouth?
Yeah, well, I wasn't trying to necessarily discipline him. I was trying to stop him from getting a fight with all those little girls and stuff.
Okay.
But it was somewhat discipline still, though, because, like, the whole time he's arguing, putting up a fight, trying to get away. So, yeah, I bopped him in the mouth, and then so they call his dad, because he was only supposed to be here for the weekend, so he was already leaving. But then they call, like, his stepmom and dad to come get him. And then the dad comes. I go out there and try to tell him what's going on. And then we get into an argument because I'm telling him, like, what would you do in that situation? Your son's going to get in a fight with, it was 5 kids, but he wanted to fight the girl out of the bunch. He's like, I would have let him fight, but not if it was a girl. Like, so obviously, what I was supposed to do. I didn't know what to do, And I'm just tripping out because, then he got to challenge me, saying slick stuff like, I can't really say or do what I want to do. So I'm like, the N-word came out of me, and I was just like, well, what do you want to do? We could get out. And then, just big drama. He
and you call him the N-word?
No.
Oh, okay.
Probably in the process of that.
Oh, you said it came out of you.
Yeah, no, I was saying, it was coming out of me because, like, in hindsight, I was thinking, I could have talked to him. He would have understood why I did what I did.
Right.
But the way everything went about, I lost control. And
did you say he had a gun or you had a gun?
He had a gun. So, like, as I say that, he just goes to the car and, like, reaches for his gun and was like, come on, try me if you want to. So I'm like, yeah, whatever. I ain't finna walk into getting myself shot. So we just, like, had words and tit for tat, and then they said left. But it's like, I'm just calling just to see, because I watch the show every day, so I know I shouldn't be with no woman with kids, but it's already too late. I know I shouldn't have any children out of wedlock, and it's already too late, so I'm just going through the hell of it now. And the oldest son, he just doesn't respect me at all. I don't expect him to, but, like, he just, everything was going fine, but something came over him. He just wanted to, like, go outside and fight with kids. And I'm like, bro, I can't let you fight with these kids. Like, especially not no little girl. Like, it's one thing if she was beating him up or whatever, but it's like, if she's beating you up, yeah, defend yourself. But you literally came home to yell at my mom and your mom to say you was going to go fight some girl. And, like, I told him, like, if you was going to fight her, why didn't you just fight her when you was by yourself? Why you need to come rile us up to do that?
Amazing. And have I spoken to you about this before? It sounds familiar.
It was a long time ago we spoke. I don't think it was about this. It was more about just silent prayer and having anger and stuff like that.
And so your question for me is what?
Well, I know I should do the silent prayer. Honestly, Jesse, I watch your show every day. I kind of want to just get off my chest. If I had a question, the question would be like, I know I need to do the silent prayer. I know I'm angry. I know I can see it, like, but part of me just, doesn't want to let go of the sin or whatever you want to call it. And I'm just trying to do, what's right for my kids, what's right for everybody's kids,
You don't want to
And
let
what's
go
right.
of the what? The anger?
Yeah, I obviously don't, because I don't do the silent prayer. Like, I call myself doing it like, oh, I'm driving around, I'm thinking, I'm in the moment, or I'm listening to the show, listening to church. But when it comes to actually sitting and doing the silent prayer, I'll do it sometimes. But, like, I feel like if I did it every day, life would be so much more amazing.
It would.
And, like,
So are you married to this boy's mother?
No.
And are you living with her?
Well, we have an apartment, yes. We live together.
Oh, okay. And did you say your mother is living with you guys too?
Oh, no. She doesn't live with us. She just stopped by. She was literally just stopping by to get the kids some stuff, see the grandbabies.
And so your question for me is what?
How do you know when you've had enough? Like, I feel like I had enough. Like,
Enough what?
I'm not trying. Enough of living with anger. Like,
Oh, I see. Well, number one, I want to tell you that you're that boy's stepfather, and you already know you should not have gotten with a woman who already had children, because children do not accept step parents, whether it's a stepmother or a stepfather, and so you have no right in disciplining him at all. And all you're doing is adding to his anger and frustration, because he's longing for his real father and not you. And so when you try to discipline him, you're adding to his anger, which is not right that you should do that. What did his mother say when you tried to discipline the boy?
well, I wasn't really like.
But whatever, when you're trying to stop the fight, you're fighting with him. What did she say about it?
Well, they just apologized to me because I wasn't necessarily trying to like discipline him. I was just trying to calm him down, and then in the process of trying to calm him down, he was swinging and scratching and pinching and doing everything he could.
But what did his mother say when this was happening?
Right after, she just apologized to me for like the drama, and then she didn't really say nothing about me disciplining him or nothing.
Why don't you if you got him, you're not even married to this woman, right?
No.
Why not let the boy go live with his father?
Oh, no, he does. So he lives with his father, but he's supposed to come every weekend.
Right.
And the other two kids, they don't want to live with the father because I guess like they say the father be beating on them, and it's not my place to care about that.
Right.
But they say they don't want to live with the father for whatever reason. I never encourage them to stay here. I never try to say anything bad about their dad. So it's like they don't want to live with their dad. So for whatever reason.
I'm concerned in that this man, you said this guy drew a gun out on you and went to the car to get a gun. This is going to lead for bad trouble to you if you don't cut it out. Meaning that you need to leave. Don't just leave his children alone, and don't argue with him about his children. Let their mother deal with that, and you stay out of it. Period. Because this can lead to some serious trouble for you, especially if this man is an angry man too.
Right.
So you should not be having anything to do with his children.
No, I hear you right. The two, they stay with us. I try to, do right by them. I make sure they eat. I make sure they do their homework and stuff like that.
But that's not your job. Because they're not going to accept you. Even when the others want to get older, they're not going to accept you either. You got to stay out of it for your own safety, and for the kids are already angry because their parents are separated and they're longing for their father. So I would recommend you stay out of that and just focus on your children. And when he's over there, and he should go get in a fight, let him fight, and let the mother deal with it. Or she call the father, he come over and deal with it. But I really recommend you stay out of it because this is leading to something that you don't want to deal with later.
Right, right. And it's just kind of hard for me to like I hear you 100%. Dealing with my kids. My kids is babies, you know. I got a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old.
Right.
But the other ones stay with us, so it's like I got to do extra stuff and work extra hard to make sure that everyone, you know, has what they need. And sometimes I do get like, I see that I'm getting angry because not only do they not really respect me, you know, they pretend they do.
No, they
you know,
don't.
But like,
they want their
but
father.
They don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. But like, I'm just trying to take care of my kids, you know, and it seemed like I'm taking away from my kids, you know?
You are. Can you take your children and go live somewhere else?
I mean, it's possible, yeah, I guess.
Why don't you do that and leave this woman with that? Because you walked into a messy situation, an evil situation, and it's not good for you, man. You need to get out of that situation.
I hear you. I'm think about that because, like, honestly, it's hard for me to want to do that because, you know, if you're right, it's 100% messy situation, and I have considered that. So yeah, I just got to think about what I got to do.
Why is it hard to walk away from it?
Because it's like it's just me, you know, taking care of the kids by myself would be tough because, like, I don't have nobody to watch them.
Pay your mother to watch them. Pay your mother to watch them while you work.
Yeah, my mother, she ain't gonna want to do it. She ain't gonna want me to leave the girl.
But your mother can't determine what you do. You're a grown man. It's not what she.
Right.
You don't need her input on it at all.
Right.
Do you?
No, I don't.
So it doesn't matter what she thinks.
I just got to figure out a way to do it, you know, money-wise and stuff. I don't want to make a lot of money, but I can't. I hear you, though. It's not an excuse. I just got to figure out what I got to do, you know?
Because this guy, you said this guy had a gun, and so he's already not liking you. He's angry already. And don't tell him what this boy is saying when you're not there. And he's going to be coming over again. It's not safe, man. There's just too much anger involved on both sides. And so I would recommend you get out of that situation. Find a way that you know, tell this woman you want your kids if you want them, and get out of this situation and stay away from that man's children.
Yeah.
And then you need to, I recommend you start working on yourself. Have you forgiven your mother?
Yes.
You told her?
Yeah, I told her.
All right. How about your father?
I talked to him too, yeah.
And then, and you should start back with the silent prayer and stay with it so you can see how to get out of the situation. But if this man come back, or when he come back, if he come back, do not argue with him, period. Just say, hey, man, you know you're right if he talks to you, but you're right. I should not have anything to do with your kids. I totally understand it. And don't argue with him at all because that anger can lead to really some bad stuff. And as his boy is getting older, he's going to hate you even more so. And they don't tell him what that can lead to.
Right.
Because you're dealing with anger, and anger lead to some serious destruction if you don't overcome it.
Yeah, most definitely. And it's like I could see, I felt that type of anger before because I had stepdad too, you know?
Yeah.
And like, so I already know it's like, you really don't know what they're going through until you, like, I'm only now realizing the type of stuff my stepdad went through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
He was always there. He never, you know, for me, but it was like similar, you know, every now and then there was discipline, and I extremely resented it.
Yeah, it's really, this woman has 3 children by a different man. And she's been married before, right?
No, they weren't married now.
Oh, okay. But you should get out of that situation. Maybe, do what you want. Maybe you could get your own apartment and then let the woman keep the kids with her, But when you're not working, you have your kids with you, and work it out that way. Can you work it out that way?
I mean, as of right now, it's hard for us to keep an apartment with both of us. But I'm pretty sure.
What do you mean by that?
It's just I ain't making no money. I'm like,
why don't you get a real job making money?
I mean, I work. I work and I do like DoorDash and stuff on the side. But I just need to get a better job.
And so you're not able to get your own place by yourself?
Right now, no. It would have to be like a weekly situation because like my credit score and rent and all that stuff.
Are you black?
I'm black, yeah.
What the? No, what? No, man. But listen, here's what I recommend. Work on yourself, of course, but you stay away from that guy. Don't argue with him about his children. Don't discipline his children. That between he and the mother. And I recommend that as soon as you can, maybe you get a Uber job or something that pays more money, and then you get your own place, and then working out with this lady to watch over your children while you're at work, since they're her children too. And then you'll be able to have the kids live with you. But you need to get out of this situation. It's not good.
Yeah, it's not good at all.
And don't argue with that man. I don't care what he says. Do not argue with him. Don't argue with him. Just say, okay, man, you're right.
Arguing, right.
This man, you're right. This man talking about pulling a gun out on you. That's going to only lead to something else if you argue with him.
Right. Yeah, I hear you, Jesse, man.
So go and find yourself another job, maybe 2 jobs, and get your own place. Tell the mother of your kids that she need to watch over your kids while you're at work. And then when you get off work, you go and get them. And one thing will lead to another, but you stay away from his children, that man's children. They don't like you.
And it's crazy. You know how you say if you listen to the women, you're going to suffer, right?
Yes.
They want me to get married. All the women in my family expect me to get married by next year.
If you listen to them, you're going to suffer.
Right.
Why are you listening to them?
I don't know, man. Because I have my kids and they're trying to make it seem like this is what you got to do. You got to marry the mother of your children and stuff like that.
Why are you listening to them?
I mean, I'm really not, because I'm not getting married. I don't plan on it. That's what they encouraging me to do, type stuff.
That's crazy. Don't listen to that, man. You're just gonna. This woman already have 3 children. You just digging a hole for yourself.
Huh. Yep.
It's only going to get worse unless you change something that you're doing. That means you got to get out of that situation. That's not a good situation to be in.
Yeah. And it's like getting worse as the time goes by. Like went from, this is I have a baby, yay, and then everything just got worse.
Yeah. So do the silent prayer. Find yourself a better paying job or a second job, and get your own apartment, and forget about that woman, and just have her to work with you to watch over your children. Let her watch over your children. Does she watch over her other children while? I mean, where are those children when is she working?
No, she's not working right now.
Oh, well, have her watch over your children while you're at work.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'll be doing, yeah.
And then, but you got to get you a place to get out of there. And you don't need a fancy place. You don't need an expensive place. You need something where you're pretty safe. You're being not too expensive, and work your way through it. You can work your way to get over it.
Right. All right, hear you. Yeah, nothing fancy, just something to work with. Yeah.
I hear the babies and that noise is distracting right now. But does that make sense?
No, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And again,
I'll let you go. Just
and again, do not argue with that guy the next time you see him. No argument. Just, let him take care of his children, whatever. You stay out of it and don't correct his children.
Right.
All right?
No, that's perfect advice. Yeah, I hear you, Jesse.
All right, brother. Let me know how it goes. I wish you well.
Thank you.
All right.
Have a great day.
You too, buddy. What a mess, huh? A woman already has 3 children. That's a no-no right there. Kids do not like step-parents. In their body, in their mind, in their soul, they're yearning for their parents. They don't want any step-parent, step-mama or step-dad. All you're doing is encouraging the anger that's already there because the stepfather or the stepmother, they're just trying to get emotional love from themselves, from the mother, or the mother from the father. It's already hard on children when they're not with both parents. It's worse when you bring a step-parent into the picture. What a mess, huh? There was according to this report, a substitute teacher at Woodbury High School reportedly used a student to help reenact the prone restraint used in the murder of George Floyd. In addition to making an inappropriate gesture and remarks in several classes. Watch this from Fox 9.
As photos like this circulated among students at Woodbury High School Monday, administrators caught wind. Students say the substitute teacher, Prescott, Wisconsin police officer Steve Williams, got pulled out of the classroom in the middle of 5th period, not long after he reenacted the murder of George Floyd with his knee on the neck of a student. In a statement to parents, school administrators say the teacher told students he thought they'd want to know about his other job as a police officer. The letter says he also twisted a student's arm behind his back and showed pressure points on the face. He fake punched a student and nearly hit him while talking about a bar fight. He repeatedly made racially harmful comments and told sexist jokes. He shared explicit details from sexual assault cases he'd worked as a police officer. And he said police brutality isn't real. The South Washington County School District won't let Williams back on school property, and Woodbury police are investigating whether he committed any crimes. The full-time police officer was also employed by a substitute teaching agency known as Teachers on Call. They sent us a statement saying, in part, quote, "The actions of this individual were unacceptable, and the substitute teacher is no longer an employee of Teachers on Call," end quote. Several parents told us the situation was shocking, and they wondered how someone like that could get into a classroom, but they were satisfied with the outcome.
Amazing. He looked like he was white. Not only are they not going to let him back in Woodbury High School, they're not going to let him back in Woodbury. What was he thinking? Man, was the student black? He looked like he was black down on that floor. I couldn't tell. What was he thinking? Oh, he wasn't thinking. That is an amazing story. Wow, George, Lord.
I think the student might be black.
He looks kind of black.
It's kind of hard to tell, but he looked black
The
on
lights
the
are
floor.
funny.
Yeah, the lights are. You can't really see him.
But the hand might be a dead giveaway.
Is the man white though? He looked like he's non-black for sure. What was he thinking, Anchor Baby?
Maybe he's. I get the impression he's got this look that.
Oh yeah, he looked
I'm totally
white.
judging, but I get this impression that he just wanted it to be cool / inspiring or something.
He was
I
trying
don't
to
think he
help.
meant any harm.
He was playing.
I would have felt that was a valuable lesson.
Yeah.
I would have thought so too.
Very interesting.
Yeah. In the good old days, that would not have been a problem.
Women taking over schools
Yeah.
and parents' minds.
And it wasn't just the.
What y'all think about that? What?
It wasn't just the, Floyd reenactment. He was giving them all sorts of stories and life experience. Seemed like a pretty cool class.
Best day of the year.
Best day ever.
This has got to be the best day of my life. My life.
Can we have substitute teachers every day?
I know.
Since when does the news call it racially harmful? Racially harmful language. What type of language can be racially harmful? Or whatever he said.
True language, usually.
What a mess. It sounds like an amazing teacher.
Yeah.
And he's right. There's no such thing as police brutality. He was teaching them a real lesson. Poor guy. No more at that school. Well, hope he doesn't lose his police job. Amazing. Let me go to first time call out of California. EINAR. EINAR, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse.
Hey. Is it EINAR?
Yes, sir. You got it right.
Okay, go ahead.
I've been with a girl, unfortunately, when she was young, like since she was 18. We have like 8 years apart. We waited for each other.
How many years?
We're 8 years apart.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
And we got together. We wanted to be married, but I didn't want to do it legally. After watching what happened to my dad, my mom lied about him and got a restraining order on him and destroyed the family. We didn't register the legal power of the system. We just wanted to be married in God's eyes and our own commitment and get a prenuptial as well, but we never got around to that. Anyways, we got pregnant, 3 years down the road being together.
When you said we got pregnant, both of you got pregnant?
We have our first boy.
But we didn't get pregnant. She got pregnant.
Yeah, she got pregnant.
Okay, go ahead.
And he's sunk 6 months now at this time, and we were having trouble, and she has a history of sexual abuse from her stepfather.
So you're older than her, though, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And she has no idea what a good man looks like, and I'm the first good man in her life, and she would praise me for this all the time and praise my character, and I've been dealing with her physical abuse and all of her chaoticness from her trauma. And she knew I was helping her with this, but ever since she had the baby, it's like something switched in her. And now she's done the same thing my mom has done to my dad. She has gone to the court system. She's gotten a restraining order on me. She's lied about me attempting to rape her. She's lied about abuse from me. I actually have a scar on my face from her hitting me and giving me a gash on my eyebrow. And it's common knowledge here in California just how abused the restraining orders are from women. And so I had visitations with my child, but now she's attacking that, claiming I broke a court order. I don't know what. We're going to go to court again, apparently. And now I have no visitations at the moment, but it just feels like a losing battle constantly. And some great men have told me to walk away and, just let it go completely. And, some good men have told me to fight it and fight because that boy needs you. And it just feels like a losing battle right now. And I don't know if at a certain point arises where I do need to walk away, or if I should just, let it strip me, even potentially financially.
How old are you now?
It comes to that. I'm 29.
Oh, okay. And your question for me is what?
Is there a point of walking away from this where that's ideal, or is it better as a man to fight for my boy as much as possible and just I don't want to walk away, but I'm dying mentally. I'm depressed. I don't know. No one around me. She's telling everyone of a monster I am now. I don't care, whatever. But
you still live with her?
No.
Okay. So you guys not living together?
Not anymore, no.
Let me ask, because of time, let me ask, what's good about you? You say you're a good man. What's good about you?
I did say I'm not really. I'm the same as every man. I'm evil.
So why did you say you're a good man?
Because compared to the men that she's had in her life that would either abuse her physically or verbally or had something wrong with them to where they're not able to communicate on.
And so you compare yourself to other men and you call yourself good?
That's what I've been told, so I guess I'm starting to believe that.
And why did you believe what she said about the other men and look how she's treating you?
I don't know. 'Cause it made me sound good, I guess.
Right. If she's lying on you, what makes you think she did not lie on those other men? You know what I mean?
Right.
But here's what I recommend. As of this point, do what you want, of course, but my best recommendation, you have no more to do with her or the baby. Walk away and start working on you and build a life for you. And seek the kingdom of God in his right way, and he will add unto you what you need to have in life. It'll happen naturally. But you need to don't spend any more money on lawyers. The lawyers are just taking your money. And don't spend any more money on court. They're going to make you pay through the teeth anyway. So walk away, leave it alone, and get away from the memories so you don't think you're losing something.
Oh, it's creepy saying that. So my boy's gonna have to grow up without a dad then.
Yeah, because she's destroying him anyway, and so he's already messed up. How old is he?
6 months.
He's already messed up. She's gonna screw him. The fact that you're with a woman that is keeping your child away from you, she's an evil woman. Evil women do that, and so they've already messed the child up. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah. God damn. Yeah. Yeah.
You should walk away. And whoever told you you should fight for it, they lied to you. A beta male told you that. There's nothing to fight for. Don't cut the baby in half. Let her have it.
Okay.
And you learn your lesson and move on, man.
Yeah. And I'm just going to disappear and leave this state. It's anti-family. It's terrible.
So what now?
It's anti-family here. These laws are just horrendous.
You're right. The laws are no good, but you got with the wrong woman.
Yeah, I did.
It had nothing
I
to
had
do.
plenty of red flags.
Yeah, the laws are bad. You're right, but you with the wrong woman. So don't look for another woman. Don't get back with this woman. Don't spend any more money on lawyers. There's nothing to fight for. Lay your weapons down and let the Spirit of God fight your battle for you.
Okay. What's this silent prayer?
Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. I want you to start doing that. Have you gone and forgiven your mother and father?
My mom won't talk to me. So my dad is. I'm on good terms with my dad.
And you tried to forgive your mother and she wouldn't talk to you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, just wish her well. Drop your anger toward her, and don't hold anger toward this girl either. She can't help herself, just as you couldn't help yourself. And you just start doing the silent prayer, staying present, go to work, get yourself a place, and live your life. Forget about no more fighting for the child. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's going to take a chunk of my heart and soul.
Why?
That's my boy, my first child.
But why should it take a chunk of... If you loved the baby, you wouldn't be feeling anything about it at all. That love you have is fake love. It's all ego. It's all about you. It's not about the baby at all. Because...
How? I know he needs a dad, though, and I know the impact it's going to have on him with not having a dad.
But what does have to do with you losing your soul or chuckling your soul?
I guess just metaphoric, but just the pain.
Why should you have pain about losing anyone or anything? That's just ego pain. That's not you.
But if I know my son's going to be badly impacted, is that ego pain still? Because I'm worried about my son.
Right. You can know that she's going to destroy him spiritually, but you don't need to feel anything about it. That the feeling that you have about it just thrills that make you feel better, make you think you love him, and make you think you'll be better. It just thrills. There's no need to be going through that to know that she's going to destroy him. How is that helping you or him?
Because I guess if I was involved, he could bounce back off of me.
No, how is it helping you to have pain about that? How is that helping him or you?
I guess no pain, no gain.
No, how is it helping you or him to have pain about it?
It's not.
So why do you put yourself through that? It's all for your thrill. It's not love or anything. It's just for you to feel like you love the son more, or you could do better, or you're a better person. It's not real. It's just ego. Let the pain go. And you're right about what's going to happen, but let the pain go so you can see what to do next.
Yeah. Okay.
So let it all go and work on you, all right?
Okay.
And block her on your phone and everything.
Yeah, I've got her blocked since day one.
So now just work on you. No more court.
Just don't show up. Just got to go of all my rights, huh?
Well, yeah, as far as being with him, but I don't know where you are on the court situation, but you need to talk to your lawyer and be done trying to get visitation rights, trying to do this and do this. You're not going to win.
Should I try to at least stay with visitation, or should I give up on that?
Give up on that too, because she's not going to let that happen. Even if the court says yes, she's going to make sure it's difficult for you to see the child.
Okay.
So let it go, man.
All right.
Do the prayer and let me know how it goes.
All right.
Rebuildingtheman.com/prayer. You're welcome. Do you think that, and I want y'all to listen up and pay attention. Not that you're not paying attention, but I want you to literally pay attention. And I want to know, do you think that Heinz should have taken down this ad? Do you think that they should have pulled the ad? Really? And I really, really, really want to know, do you think that they should have taken this ad down?
Derek gave me this.
Do you believe... one moment. Do you believe that ad is racist? First of all, there's no such thing as racism, right? But let's say you believe racism exists. Do you believe that this ad is racist? And should Heinz, just because a few lost people complained about it, Heinz took it down. This is from Drum. And Nick, take it, Nick.
What do you think about this, Jesse? See any problems with this?
So this is the Heinz ad, ketchup. It's about ketchup. And they have a black woman. Mm-hmm. They have a white man, a white woman, a black woman, a white man, and a black woman.
In fact, they're depicting the man and woman getting married here, the black woman and the white man. They're getting married here and enjoying some Heinz pasta sauce. People are saying this is racist, and Heinz is getting some backlash over it.
And why they call this racist?
In this article, because it's supposed to be depicting an absent black father. In this case, this image was offensive because it lacked a black father.
So they're saying that, according to the report, they're saying that this ad is racist because they don't have a black father at the table, and they have a white man there look like a father, and a white son it look like a son, and a white wife, but they got a black mother, but no. And that's because black men and women don't get married. What the?
And here's Heinz trying their absolute best, showing a marriage between a black woman and a white man. So they're definitely trying here, but still, they're getting in trouble.
What do you mean by marriage between a black woman and a white man?
This ad shows, you see the woman eating pasta?
Uh-huh.
That's the bride. You see the young man next to her? That's her groom.
Oh, is it?
And that the two parents on the other side are the parents of the white man, and the black lady is the mother of the bride.
So
and I'm getting this all from the article that.
Oh, that's in the article?
Correct.
Oh, so that man is about to marry that black woman?
Correct.
What no?
And here's Heinz doing their best.
Yeah. Well, that's because black men don't marry white women. I mean, black women. What the? And also, they took the ad down. Now these people they can't earn money.
Correct.
They can't earn their money because they're taking the ad down, right? They put these people out of work.
Alongside another ad. So, if anything, the most offensive part of this is that Heinz came out with a pasta sauce.
Oh, I thought you were about to say, if anything, the most offensive thing is a black woman marrying a white man.
I should have gone there. That's funnier. I'm in culinary with it. But Heinz's pasta sauce is probably good. What am I talking about? I haven't even tried it. Look at this one. It's Halloween. It's all scary.
No.
So it says, it has to be Heinz. Were you going to comment on the first one?
No, fine.
This one got taken down too.
This scared me. I didn't know what to think about it when I first saw it. At first, I thought it was a transgender thing. And I thought the guy was trying to be unlifted, but it was ketchup. Derek told me, no, that's Heinz ketchup.
It's just a little Heinz ketchup.
And the guy's eating a hamburger or something with ketchup on it.
Yes, correct. But it's also real scary, I guess.
There's nothing wrong with the picture, though.
You don't think so?
And the people complained and they told Heinz took it down.
You don't think it's kind of evoking, isn't it reminding you and evoking scenes of like minstrel shows like this, Jesse? Have some come on.
No, those are white lips.
Wait, I need a colored picture.
The other lips are red.
That's a bad example.
Ain't nothing wrong with red lips.
What about this one? Wait, you remember that? You know what?
It don't mean a thing if you ain't got that swing.
Okay, now this will prove it.
Bob.
How about that?
No, what's wrong with that?
It's racist.
How?
No, I'm trying to play devil's advocate.
So what?
I don't see racist.
So, but this had nothing to do with Heinz, right?
Well, that is the image it's evoking. People are saying that that's why this is racist.
They're saying that they see that when they see this?
Correct. That's in the article as well. That it
their minds are messed up. What?
That it evokes like minstrel shows from back in the racist days.
But those shows used to be fun.
Exactly. I mean, I'd never seen one.
I remember those shows.
I believe it.
Those shows were fun, and when black people knew how to act in movies. Really, they were. It wasn't DEI. They were earning it.
I bet you everybody loved them.
They loved that. And the blacks used to gather around the TVs to watch those movies. And now they're gone. They put the people out of work. So do you think Heinz should have taken those ads down? I say no. Heinz is better for taking them down. Shame on you, Heinz. Just because a few lost people complain, now those people are going to lose their work. A livelihood. Just because a few people complain. What a sad way to live. Amazing, Nick. Thank you.
No problem.
Do you
both
think
ads been
Heinz
pulled by the drum? Just reading this here.
Yeah, the drums said they pulled it, right?
Mm-hmm.
According to the drums, they pulled it. Do you think they should have done that? 888-7753-773. Joseph is out of Florida. Joseph, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Jesse. How are you, sir?
All is well.
So if it's okay, I'm just going to take a second and kind of explain the situation and then ask my question to you and just
all right.
Just get your advice. Okay. So I got a counseling session with you a few months back about reconnecting with my father. Long story short, my father was an alcoholic when I was a child who beat my mother a few times, and he went to jail. And when I was 5, he gave up custody of me. And so I grew up without my dad and everything. And so I've always had to kind of man up and raise myself, right? And so I'm 38 now, and I recently reached out to him and found him and got his phone number, and we started talking every Sunday. And, Jesse, I really worked on forgiving him and trying to understand, but there was a conversation that I had with him where I asked him, did you ever try to find me? Did you ever look for me? And he told me that, that he didn't know where to start. And, man, it just filled me with a rage. And I was just like, why don't you start with loving your son enough that you'll move heaven and earth to find him? And I don't understand why you didn't look for me. And it just ignited this, he didn't really have an answer. He didn't really he couldn't really explain it. And I asked him, why'd you hit my mom? He couldn't explain it. And I mean, dude, I flipped out. I went into a rage. I called him every mean and nasty thing on the planet. And he's told me that he doesn't want any more contact with me. And so, Jesse, I know I have to forgive and let go and drop all thoughts. But it's my dad, man. And I just wanted to connect with my father. I just don't. I'm trying so hard to do that, man. And I'm going to try to forgive and let him go. But I just wanted to hear your advice on it and just see what you had to say.
Well, number one, you have not forgiven him. If you have forgiven him, you will understand why whatever happened in his life, why it happened, that it wasn't him, and that the same evil spirit that's driving you is driving him. And you will have that understanding. You wouldn't be feeling that way this way today. But you have not forgiven him. He told you, I didn't know where to look. That's enough. He beat your mama.
How is that enough, though, Jesse?
Because
he could have looked for his son.
Because you have forgiven him, you understand. That was then. This is now. You don't need to be looked for by him. You need to love him by not resenting him.
But I also need him to love me. And if he never looked for his son and he never cared, I mean, how can I not be angry and hurt by that?
And why do you need him to love you?
Because that's my father, man. He's supposed to love me.
And why? Who said he's supposed to love you?
No one said it, but I don't think any reasonable person on this planet would say, "Nah, your dad's not supposed to love you. You're on your own, man."
Why don't you? Why don't you love him? You don't love him. So how can you expect him to love you and you don't even love him? You don't know what love is. Why don't you love him?
Because he never looked for me and he never put in the effort to find me.
And that's why you don't love him?
That's why I don't love him, yes.
And does God love you?
Yes.
Why should God love you?
There is no should. He loves me because he's perfect. It's him. It has nothing to do with me.
And so why don't you love your father in the same way?
Because I feel like he didn't love me in the same way. And so I'm mad.
And so do you love God?
Yeah, I love God.
How can you love God and hate your father?
Because God was great to me and always been there for me, and he's never been there for me. That's why.
You don't love God. If you don't love the Father, if you don't love the Son, you can't love the Father. And your earthly father is a son of God. And how can you get to God without going through the Son? So you don't love your God because you don't love your Father. You're being very selfish. It's all about you instead of you showing him love by not resenting him. It doesn't mean you got to hang out with him and all that, but you got to show your Father love so you can have love, be love.
I think you're wrong, man. Like, I don't see how I'm being selfish. Like, what did I do wrong? Like, ask him why he didn't search for his son.
No,
I'm not the
you
one.
did wrong
I'm
by
not the one
becoming
who
angry.
abandoned my son, sir.
You became wrong by being angry at him instead of forgiving him.
But how am I supposed to forgive somebody who just abandons their kid, never looks for him, and just like, well, I just didn't know like what to do, Dad. Like, you know, what do I do with that?
By realizing that he couldn't help himself. Just like you can't help yourself, the same spirits, the spirits that are driving you in your imagination and emotions are the same ones that are driving him as well. It's no different.
Well, and that's why, like I said, you know, when I asked this question, like I know I have to forgive him, Jesse, and I know I have to, like, all right, you don't want in contact with me? You know what? Cool. You want to just beat my mother and just abandon me? You know what? Great.
Are you mad at him about beating your mama too?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because he beat my mother, dude.
But it's not you. You're not your mother. That between he and your mother had nothing to do with you.
Jesse, I respect you and I respect your message, sir. And I think you're right about a lot of things. But I think if somebody put hands on your mother, you might feel a little bit differently about it, sir.
Oh no, I wouldn't feel anything. I seen my mother get beat. I didn't feel nothing. That between she and my father had nothing to do with me.
You didn't resent your dad at all for doing that?
I resented my father because my father wasn't there for me. He let me be with them instead of being with him. But I didn't resent him because he and my mother were fighting. That between them, it had nothing to do with me. And you don't know what your mother did to make your father beat her. Fathers just don't wake up and beat mothers for no reason. They bring it on.
I understand that, and you know, my mother had issues with other men too. And I know that she wasn't 100% innocent, and I could totally see her antagonizing the situation and bringing it on. You have a fair point there. Okay.
Yeah. So did you forgive your mother?
I have forgiven my mother.
Well, why don't you forgive your father then? It's the same spirit. And I promise you, if you should forgive your father, you will have perfect love, and love will not be necessary from anybody else because you will have perfect love, and you will show your father and the world love. You will have compassion.
Jesse, how can I have compassion for somebody who's never loved his own son or done anything for him?
Can you hold for a minute?
Yes, sir.
Hold on, buddy. Let me go quickly back to Joseph. Joseph, you were saying that how can you love your father? Why should you love your father if he didn't love you and he abandoned you?
Yeah, so I think your point, sir, was that you're trying to tell me that I need to forgive him and love him. And I think the issue with me is that he never looked for me and he never really tried to put in that effort. And I feel like he should have. And I feel like that he doesn't love me, right? Because if he did, he would have looked or tried. And so that's where that anger comes from, because I feel like, why should I love the person that didn't love me? And I know that's hypocritical because God loves me and I'm a screwed up person, and I've done good and I've done bad, Jesse, and God loves me anyways, and I know I have to get to that point with him.
So let me ask, so you think you're hurting because your father didn't love you or look for you?
Yes, in some ways, yes.
I promise you're not hurting at all because he didn't love you or look for you. You're only hurting because you have no love. You have no love, and all your hurt is inside of you. And if you were to forgive, you will hurt no more. It's just that you are separated from God, and you're of your father, the devil. That's why you're hurting. You're in your imagination. You're in your emotions, and all of your hell is inside of you. And it has nothing to do with whether your father loved you or not, or abandoned you or not. You don't have love, and that's why you're suffering. It had nothing to do with him, period.
So I'm just supposed to love this guy, even though he doesn't do anything for his son, doesn't try to right any wrong, doesn't. How am I supposed to do that?
And what type of wrong can he right?
I don't know. Like maybe if he would have looked for me, or if he would have, found me first, or if he would travel to Florida and visit me, or give me an explanation as to why.
Do you still need to be looked for?
I don't need to be looked for, but
so then why are you holding on to that then?
Because I feel like my father is supposed to love me and supposed to be there for me, and he's not.
How old are you?
I'm 38, sir.
You still need him to be there for you?
Don't you want your dad in your life, Jeff?
My father is in my life. But I'm not concerned if he loved me or not. I love him. And life is about a return to the Father. It's not about whether your earthly father or mother love you now or not. They can help it. They could, just like you can't help yourself but be judgmental and have no love. Your father and mother can help themselves either. And if you understand yourself, it will cause you to understand them, and you will forgive them. Then you will be free. You wouldn't need anything from them or anyone else.
So, okay, well, let me ask you this then. So, do you, this is going to sound hypocritical, but like, can you forgive somebody and kind of be mad at them at the same time? Like,
no, you can only serve one God. You can't serve Satan and God.
Well, I guess, like, I just don't, like, okay, let me ask you this, okay? Like, you disagree with different political parties and stuff like that. That doesn't mean that, like, you hate those people, but you may say, hey, those people are dumb, they're not doing the right thing, blah, blah, blah. So you don't necessarily have a great relationship with them. Like, I don't think I can have a relationship with my dad because of who he is. But I do think I can work on myself to get to that point, like you say, to forgive him and just love him anyway.
No, it's not that you can't have a relationship with your father because of who he is. You can't have a relationship with your father because you hate him.
That's true.
You're just like your mother. That's why he beat your mother, because your mother treated him the way you're treating him. And because he had no love, he had anger.
No, that's not true, Jesse. That's
yes,
not
it is.
True.
You're treating your father in the same way your mother treated him. She
Jesse,
showed him.
I respect you, sir.
She showed him no love.
You didn't see that.
She showed him no love. Your
Jesse,
mother
you didn't see the situation. How do you know what happened if you weren't there?
Because I know your mother had no love and your father had no love. And when two people get together, have no love, they fight.
That's true, and they do fight a lot. But at the same time, like, when you slap my mom around and you abandon me and stuff like that, it can't just be all my mother's fault. Like, some of it's on him. He went to jail for this stuff. And he could have put in an effort to find his son, and he never did. And I'm just supposed to just...
Joseph, let me just say this to you. You have a decision to make. You can stay in your misery, or you can forgive and be free. It's up to you. It has nothing to do with your father. It had nothing to do with him looking for you or not looking for you. It has nothing to do with your father and mother fighting. It has nothing to do with your father. It's just that you have an unforgiving heart and you're living in hell. It had nothing to do with anyone else at this point but you. God said, when you forgive others, he will forgive you and make you free. You're not free because you won't forgive. And Satan is giving you all these lame excuses to keep you in hell so that you won't forgive. It's up to you, man. You forgive, you show your father love and your mother by not hating them, by not being angry.
I get that. But what holds me back from that point is, you know, I have to admit it that on some point, you know, my dad's a dirtbag. That's what he is. People can say I'm judgmental or
You say
whatever.
your father
I don't care.
what?
That's what
You say
a dirtbag.
Your father's a dirtbag?
I'm trying to be polite on your.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But I'm gonna have to run. But I'm telling you, your judgment of your father is horrible because it's hurting you. God is not judging your father at all, because just like you can't help yourself, something else is driving you. God knows it's not whatever happened. It wasn't your father. It was something else driving him. Another person, spirits in charge of your father, just like they're in charge of you right now. You're not in the driver's seat. You're being driven.
And I do see that. I am being, and that's why I flipped out on him. I do see that. And, you know, and that the silent prayer does work, that I'm able to see that. So your advice is just forgive him despite all this bull crap?
Just as God has forgiven you despite all of your bull crap. You're not been an angel.
No, I haven't.
And God has forgiven you.
That's true.
Forgive your father.
I'll do that.
Let me know how it goes.
I will. Thank you, Jesse, for your time.
You're welcome. I was reflecting a little bit yesterday, last night, even this morning. And I realized, and I've talked to a whole bunch of people, right? And just everywhere, a bunch of people, Christians and non-Christians alike. Almost, all kinds of denominational people that believe in different religions and all kinds of things. And I noticed that most people, if not all, because I do know one or two people, I have met one or two people over the years who understand and know this. But what I found is that nearly all people believe that you can't have perfect peace on earth. It's the dirtiest thing I ever seen. They don't believe you can have perfect peace on earth, and they don't believe in letting go and living. Oh, I know what it is. They don't believe that you can have perfect peace on earth, and they don't believe that you can have an angry-free life. That is so interesting to me, I don't know what to do with it. They don't believe that you can have an angry-free life, a life without anger, and they don't believe that you can have perfect peace. And they don't believe you're supposed to love all. The three most important things they don't believe. And I've been quietly paying attention to try to understand why don't they believe that. And then I hear them say, and they said to me too when I ask, they said, well, I don't know anyone that has perfect peace. Or I don't know anyone that doesn't have anger, they say. And because they don't know anyone that has perfect peace or that doesn't have anger, they don't believe it's possible. It's like you got to prove it to them before they can intellectually believe, because if you got to prove it to them, they're never going to spiritually believe it, right? But it's like they got to have proof before they can believe it. It is the most insane thing I've ever seen. It looked like even in your darkest mind, and the mind is dark, that you would, if you say you believe in God, look like you would put two and two together and say, okay, if I believe in God, why do I hate anyone? God loved all. He said, I sent my son for all. He didn't say I leave one out, right? He said, I sent my son for all, and not because you love me, but because I love you. God sent. But people say, well, I don't know all, so I don't love all. I don't love my enemy. I don't love the person, the white man or the Jew man or the Jewish man or the black man or this. Why do you think that's rational? Why? God loved you and you didn't even deserve the love. And yet he did an amazing thing for you. You don't even know the depths of it yet. But you say you don't love all. He said to love your enemy. You say you don't love your enemy. You don't love the ones that hurt you. It is just, I understand the mind though, so I'm like finding it interesting. But I do understand. Look like you would just say, okay, I don't have perfect peace. I hope to get it. Christ came that you may have peace and have perfect peace. Why would you want to serve a God that is no different than the God that you're already serving? Nothing changes, right? You're still miserable. You were in misery. You were lost. And you heard about a God that you can be found. And then you go and you say you found this guy, right? I believe it. I have accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. And you're still miserable. Why would you want that God? And you still don't have perfect peace. And you still don't love your enemy. Love your neighbor. Ask yourself, love your enemy. I just don't know why you accept. I mean, I'm saying it for the purpose of conversation, but why would you accept that? And then you still say you're a Christian, you're a black Jew, you're a black Israelite, you're a Mormon, you're that religion where they said nobody going to heaven but them on a few. I don't know how you accept that. And you read the Bible and you read the phony Bible about black Israelites and you read the Jewish Bible and it's all about love. Allah, Abba. Why, I don't know if all those Bibles are about love or not, but it's interesting. But do what you want. Stay in your hell. Don't believe that you can have perfect peace. You got to have proof. I thank God that I didn't need to have proof before he gave me perfect peace. I didn't even think I have to know someone that had perfect peace. It just came about without me realizing. If I had thought, well, I ain't gonna never have perfect peace, I got to see somebody with it first. And you believe all that mess in your head. You don't know nobody with perfect peace. Ain't no such thing, they say. I don't love everybody. I don't know everybody. I just love the ones that treat me right. And as soon as they don't treat you right, you don't love them. Whatever you consider right to be. So you don't even know what right is. You don't even know if you're being treated right or wrong. But you think you do. Amazing. But anyway, I want to tell you this, and I'm going to get to your calls. Election time is near. It's like really near now. And in some states, people are already voting. They are already voting. Mail-in voting kind of a thing. And in the meantime, the illegal aliens, not just from Mexico, but of around the world, have heard, y'all better hurry up and get over there to America because Trump looked like he just might win. And once he get in, you don't have a chance. You got to do it the right way or no way. May God have mercy on our country. It's gone. And so they are rushing. There's another drove of illegal on the way. They coming from the south, the north, the east, the west, right down through Mexico. They're coming. Isn't that amazing? They tried to get here before the election time, just in case Donald Trump, the great white hope, may win and bring America to order again. And the Democratic Party and the right-o Republicans, you know that woman Liz Cheney? I'm not sure. Now, I haven't seen any medical reports or anything, right? I know nothing about her mindset or anything. Well, I know a little bit about her mindset because I do see that she hates Donald Trump. That woman hates Donald Trump so much, it appears that she's willing to allow America to be destroyed to get back at one man. She and her daddy, Dick Cheney, I think that's her daddy, either a husband or a father. Is it her husband or a father?
That's her daddy.
That's her father?
That's her father.
Why it look like her husband for some reason?
She got that.
Oh, she old.
Hell on her face.
This woman heart is so wicked that she'll destroy all of this woman up there with Kamala Harris. She knows she doesn't. That woman don't like Kamala. I don't believe. But to get back at Trump, she's up there looking stupid. But anyway, some more illegal aliens are coming, so you can expect more trouble in America. Robbing, stealing, killing, raping, break-ins, all kinds of things. Because these people come from asshole countries and they're asshole people. According to News Nation, a large caravan of migrants is heading from southern Mexico toward the United States southern borders. Watch this from News Nation.
Yeah, so this caravan is around 2,000 migrants. It's on its way north right now to the U.S.-Mexico border. And officials across Texas say they are in active alert, including officials in El Paso. Now, officials in El Paso are adding that they are tracking that caravan's movement and are in active conversation with Mexican authorities. Many migrants are now viewing this as kind of their last chance to make it into the United States and seek asylum. With that upcoming election, migrants are expected that with a Trump administration, with that possibly of winning in November, that the Trump administration could introduce more of those hardline immigration policies and cracking down on asylum, but also ending that CBP-1 Act, which Mexican officials say now migrants are growing very impatient with and say that we could possibly see even more of these smaller groups come here to the U.S.
Wow. And when they get here, they get free stuff and your taxes go up. They're coming from everywhere. They're bringing their babies and everything. Are you happy about this? Talk to Europe. It happened over in Europe, and now the Europeans have so many problems they don't know what to do with them. News Nation is reporting that after infighting among rival fractions of the Sinaloa cartels, which erupted after U.S. authorities apprehended two of its leaders back in late July, members are now permitted to shoot at Border Patrol agents. They are permitted, according to News Nation, to shoot at the border patrols. You have your government to thank for this. The Biden, Kamala Harris administration. And you want Kamala as your president? What's wrong with you? Don't you have enough inner conflict happening? Why do you want more conflict from the outside? Because if you let these people stay in office, that's what's going to happen. And they don't have to worry. That's why they can just let a man do what they want. Kamala Harris and Biden and Liz Cheney and all of they don't worry. They're behind gated fence. They have bodyguards. They have security guards. They have weapons. They're okay, but not you. You little peasant. Your life is not worth anything to these people. That's their thinking. Their thinking is that. Oh, here's this sound bite. Let's see. Oh, I do have a soundtrack about the drug cartels, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, I didn't see it. It's like way down my thing here. Let me hear that.
From News Nation?
Yeah, News Nation.
So it's long been kind of this understanding of sorts that the Mexican cartel stays over in Mexico. They don't fire on or attack U.S. law enforcement because it's bad for business. They would be shut down, and they know it. But there has been basically a war within the Sinaloa cartel, and that prompted this alert that we actually obtained that's circulating amongst Border Patrol that shows that cartel operatives have actually been given permission to shoot at U.S. Border Patrol agents because of their response to this fighting within the Sinaloa cartel. Border Patrol's response is prompting the deployment of Mexican law enforcement, which the cartel is trying to avoid here.
In the United States of America. Grandpa, tell me about the good old days. Remember when America was amazing? It was great. At least when I was growing up. And then when I first moved to LA. All that's gone now. It's just a memory. 888. So get ready, folks. You think it's bad now? And it is. Have you noticed how electric bills have gone up? Your electric bill went up. I remember when my home electric bill was like really, really low. Now it's through the roof. I'm like, what the? I'm not using any more than I was using before. And the price is going through the roof. Because in California, the Democratic so-called leadership, they want electric cars and get rid of gas. And you're falling for it. And then you complain about how expensive things are. And you vote for the people that make sure things are expensive for you. What's wrong with you? Oh, you're a Democrat, and you're just going to be a Democrat no matter what. You're just going to vote Democrat no matter how much they jump on you. You're still going to vote for them. You have identified with being a Democrat. And now you can't get rid of that false identity. You're stuck with it, and it brings you misery. You're still stuck with it. You love it. But let me ask: do you go deer hunting?
Yeah, I actually just killed a deer yesterday, and I actually killed a couple of squirrels that we cooked up as well.
Amazing.
And I was going to ask you, when you were a kid, you were shooting birds. Why were you doing that?
There was little. I forgot what they were called, polished bird or some kind of bird. And
were you having like Blue Jay sandwiches or what?
I did it. Well, at the time I was young. I didn't know what I was doing. And I had just got my rifle, and I think I was like 15 or 16. And so I was just having fun with my gun at the time. But as I got older, I pretty much shot squirrels and rabbits and things like that.
Did you eat the squirrel?
Yes. Oh, my God.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Oh, it's so good. It makes you want to slap your mama.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And another thing I wanted to say is, you were talking about taxes and having to pay a government for committing these war wars that we don't want to be involved in.
Right.
And, since I know that when people work, sure, they have to pay the federal income tax, but when you don't, you just pay in property local taxes, and that's less evil, I would say, than paying federal taxes. So I know it's a blessing for me not to have to work currently, but it's when Caesar in the Bible, Jesus says Caesar, give Caesar his due. I think that's just what the Roman Church added during Constantine. I don't think Jesus really said that.
Amazing.
Because we shouldn't follow an unjust government, right?
Not when they're wrong, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, the last 4 years, would you say is right or wrong?
Totally wrong. But
and we're still paying into it.
Yeah, because the people are out of control. They support it, they vote them in, and they do it over and over. But let me ask you this, Robert, and I got to run. Hate want to know, what does a squirrel taste like?
Chicken.
It is so good.
Chicken.
Yeah.
So what I do is I put it in a crock pot and let it cook for about 10 hours, and the bone, the meat just falls right off the bone. You can put some Worcestershire, it's some A1 sauce on it, and garlic, onion. It's just delicious. Not a lot of meat. You might get a pound.
Yeah.
But, you got to shoot 10 or 20 squirrels.
Yeah.
To make a meal.
I remember my grandmother used to cook it like that, and then she made some rice and gravy to go with. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's amazing. What kind of squirrels were you killing? Were the fox squirrels the big fluffy ones?
It wasn't the. I don't remember. That's a good question. I don't remember exactly right now. It's been so
I have
long.
3 different types of squirrels.
Yeah,
and there's
it's
some
been so long.
squirrels that taste better. Yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to add that I think
Right
the best thing I've learned from you is that you got to be willing to commit and give up everything to overcome.
You got to totally surrender.
Part of it is forgiving, your mom, and I had to do that last year just because she took me to a Pentecostal church speaking in tongues, and it was all fake. And finally, she admitted it. And she's almost 80, and I just that was total brainwashing. And and she admitted she did it out of vanity.
Amazing. Nice.
And that she did. I mean, it's a beta thing to care what people think about you. I really do believe that.
Well, I'll put my 2 cents in on Sunday with that, and I do appreciate it. Thanks for your call, Robert.
Yeah, man, I appreciate you. The great black guru.
Amazing. Thank you, buddy. Nice. Bye now. Excuse me. Let me go to, is it Irvin? Ivan out of California. First time caller. Ivan, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, Jesse?
All is well.
Good, brother. Hey, so recently, the mother of my daughter and I, we separated, and because she says she's been growing closer to the Lord, and she's been she wants to honor God because we were living together, not married for a while, and but off and on, I was being picky with jobs and jumping from job to job,
right,
and not keeping a steady job, and then one night she called me when I was at work, and she told me her dog passed away, and months back there was some money that was left around, and long story short, she was upset because I took it because I put it towards the car for some car maintenance a while back because I was short, and she wanted to use that money to cremate the dog when it died, and to cremate it. And I told her, I used it to fix the car a while back, and she was pretty mad, and she was hurt, and she told me she was done with me because of that, and also because of me being picky with jobs and feeling like she's alone, and because when I am at work, she feels alone, and so I do honor that she wants to honor the Word of God and the Bible, and
right,
and not live together married, but man, it's been hard to let go, brother, because like she has my daughter and so I don't know like what's gonna happen next. But man, it's been like a battle to like figure out like what I'm gonna do now, you know.
And so, have you moved out already?
Yeah, I moved out. I moved in with Pops because Pops was like, "Oh, come over here." So I said, "Okay, I'll go over there." And so I've been with my dad for like a few weeks now.
And how old are you?
And I'm 31.
And so are you're still able to see your daughter? Are you still able to see your child?
Yeah, yes.
So
she doesn't mind like me coming over the house. Like she doesn't like I still got a house key.
Right.
And I go over the house. Like yesterday I went over and to see my daughter because I try not to go too many days so I don't get like accused of walking out on her.
Right.
Because my lady, she always like grew up, but she always talked about like growing up without a father and like how her father was never there, and I don't know what that's like because my dad was always there for me.
Right.
But like I know that she could try to project that onto me because like the mother, she lives with her mother too, and the mother, my mother-in-law is a single mother.
Oh, and so your question for me is what?
Is like, should I try to fight for the relationship or just stay put?
Stay put. Don't fight for anything. The relationship should happen naturally or not happen at all. And so you should stay there with your father and then eventually get your own place and just live your life, take care of your child. And if this relationship is meant to be, it will happen naturally.
Okay.
And then if you're having pain from it, the breakup or whatever, it's only because you're in your head and you're having memories about it. And the memory is bringing on the pain, and you think that's real, but it's just thoughts. Let those thoughts pass.
Yeah. You're right. Those are just thoughts because
right.
Because it's been hard to sleep because I keep thinking of like my daughter and a man. Like I still have pride. And I still have like an ego, so I still worry about like, oh, I don't want to see another man carry or be near or be around my daughter, you know?
Yeah, let those thoughts go and just work on you, overcome the anger by forgiving your parents. God will forgive you. Do the silent prayer and just so you can be present and let God's will be done. It'll be amazing. You'll be amazed how it will turn out for you.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, hey, thank you, Jesse.
You're welcome, brother. I wish you well.
All right. Appreciate it.
All right. What the? Amazing. Before I go to your calls, and I do see them, I see something that's so amazing to me. It's like looking at a big screen TV of the world. I see something that's happening in the world right now. That it happens through every human being until they overcome. What I'm about to tell you is every man and woman of this earth. Really. It's so amazing. I'm like, what? Now, I wasn't trying to see it. It just occurred to me. So some of you know that there is a presidential race on. And you have less than 2 weeks now before we get out and vote. And it's very, very interesting to watch what is happening. But it's every human nature because human nature is evil, right? This is a perfect example of every human being in that fallen nature. And it is a fallen nature. It's an animal nature. That's why human beings think that animals feel what they feel, because they're in the animal nature and they think that the animals are feeling what they're feeling and they're not. But anyway, I was watching Jesse Waters' news show yesterday or TV show, and they were showing all of these the Democrats It's like they all went to the same. I don't know if they're all on the same chat line or whatever, but they're saying the same exact things right now. But what I noticed is that they could not defeat Trump by presenting what they have and will do to make the country better, because they can't say what they've done, because in the last 4 years, they have done nothing to make America better. It only made it worse. We were crying, why don't you help us? Why are you helping Ukraine? Why are you doing? You're not helping America at all. No money, illegal aliens and everybody but America, right? Americans were carrying on about that for the last 4 years. And so the Democrats don't want to remind you of what they did to America. They don't want to say, you know what, you're right. We screwed up. We'll do it right this time if we get another chance. They won't say that. But what I noticed, the fallen Messiah, Barack Obama, this little Kamala Harris lady, female, and all they're doing now, I really want you to pay attention. They're desperate, by the way. This is what desperation look like. When desperate people are losing, they go personal. They go personal. And right now, the Democrats are so desperate, they've gone personal on Donald Trump. All that they're doing now is doing personal attacks. That's all they're doing. They're just saying anything, whether true or not. They gone personal. And it's amazing to see it. While when you watch Donald Trump, he's still just laying out what he's going to do to make the country great again, what's wrong with the country, how we can make it great again, and this is what I'm going to do. If you hire me, these are the things that I'm going to do to make the country great again. He's just laying that out. He's not even gone personal because he's laying out his plan. But the desperate people, angry, desperate for power, desperate for control, desperate for a false sense of life, right? That's every human being. Just think in your own personal life and be honest with yourself. You don't have to say it out loud, but at least be honest with yourself. Have you noticed how you go desperate, you go personal when people don't do it the way you want them to do it, or if somebody seems to be getting a little ahead of you, or they seem to be getting more than what you have, or you want to bring them down because you're a loser. It's not going quite the way you want to. You thought you were going to be famous, but it's not. Your fame paint, the little light going out. Don't you go desperate, even on your own family members, on your own husband or wife or friends or coworkers or whomever? Think in your own life, how many times have you went personal on someone? You try to hurt them personally. The Democrats are displaying that. You have to be blind, crippled, and crazy not to see that. They have nothing to tell America that they have done in the last 4 years to make America great. So all they're doing are just personal attack or attacks on Donald Trump. That's evil, and that's human nature. Human nature is evil, and that's desperation. Think about your own desperation in your life. Think about what you have done in secret to hurt other people. Because you are desperate, but you blame them for your desperation. Listen to the Democrats today. Kamala Harris and Obama and all the people that's out there, the media, liberal media, they have gone total personal on Donald Trump. They'll just say anything now Hitler, whatever they want. It's not even true, but they'll just say it because they know desperate people love lies. They know the average person love lies. They don't love truth. They don't love God. And they get a thrill out of hearing desperate people go personal on other people. You get a thrill from that because your heart is wicked. It's evil. You don't say, you know what, I don't want to hear that because you get the thrill just from hearing it. Tell me that human beings are not evil. The Democrats have gone personal. They're making up stuff. But you know the beauty of it, and there is a beauty in this story. When you go personal on Donald Trump, he can care less. It's almost like you're doing him a favor when you go personal on him. It brings out the best in him. Really, it just brings out the best in him. And you know why? He's overcoming the fallen state. He's aware. He understands how evil works. And once you get an understanding of how evil works, you're no longer subject to evil. So it doesn't bother Donald Trump one iota that they have gone personal. He knows that these evil people have nothing else to offer. They can't say what they have done, so they gotta thrill you by making up things about him. And a lot, especially with those liberal women, they love the thrill of judging Donald Trump, whether true or not. But I want you to notice, Donald Trump is not moved by one iota. He's on that straight and narrow, telling you what he will do if reelected. You could be the same way in your life. You could be the same way. But you got to overcome the fallen state. It's not going to happen because the average person can't deal with evil. They can't deal with evil in their own minds, and they can't deal with evil coming from other evil people toward them. And it's funny, too, evil has no power. It has no authority. It has been defeated, and yet you're afraid of evil. You're afraid of evil. I want you to notice this personal attack that these people are doing now is almost like an October surprise thing. They have nothing. That stupid Kamala Harris held a press conference. Oh, somebody said Donald Trump is a Hitler or something like, and I forgot how exactly she put it. Donald Trump has said that he wish he had a team like Hitler had that is committed to him and work like that, something like that. She held a press conference for that, like it was a White House president, it looked like. Like that's supposed to make Donald Trump cry. The average person would run and hide and give up. Most people can't handle personal attacks because they don't understand the evil. The people who are doing it are evil. And you have not overcome the evil of your own imagination, so you're afraid. So Kamala Harris did a town hall on CNN. Anderson Cooper asked if he's a fascist. And she said yes. So that's supposed to make you not vote for him, right? He's a fascist, whatever that is. And so you're supposed to vote for Kamala Harris so she can dig a deeper hole for you in America. Give amnesty to the illegal aliens. But the point I want to make is that I want you to notice, pay attention, that because it's happening in your life, it's happening to you, and you're doing it to others. Whether secretly or openly, you are doing it. It's the same evil spirit. But I want you to notice how the Democrats and the liberal media have gone totally personal now. They have nothing to tell you that they're going to do or have done to make America better. And then I want you to look over at Donald Trump, and he's just still even key. He's not giving room to the devil. He said, "Get behind me, Satan." And he's still just telling you what he's going to do to make the country better. Watch the difference. And while on the other channel, the Democrats are lying, they're personal. Even the fallen Messiah is personal. Just like the fallen Messiah, almost, he didn't call him that. When he called the black guy, y'all ain't gonna vote for him. What the? The human heart is evil. That's why you must be born again. The heart of God. Human beings have no love, zero love. And you try to get love from human beings and they don't have it. Men try to get love from women, women try to get love from men. You try to get love from your fake friends, and they don't have it and you don't have it. But I want you to watch Human Nature on the big screen TV. Listen and watch Kamala Harris and the Democratic Party, and then watch and listen to Donald Trump. You'll see, if you pay attention, you will see. Keep a little space between all so you can see clearly what's going on. Don't make them your gods. And you can see then. It is an amazing thing to see. I want you to just listen to it. All personal. And if you have love, you would know it's wrong for them to go personal like that. And they're just making up stuff. And they try to act like they're serious about it. Oh, I'm not going to vote for Donald Trump now because Donald Trump is like a fascist. The average person don't even know what that means. But I want you to look at the difference between night and day. The Democratic Party and the people who are representing it, the media and all, a night. Donald Trump is the day. And you'll see. And don't get the thrill out of them attacking him personally, and you'll see what's going on, and it's going to help you in your own personal life. Oh, amazing. It's so amazing, but it's human nature. Human nature is evil. Look how you treat one another in your own life. Look how you treat the people in your life, whether secretly or openly. You're nasty. You don't have love. All in the name of Jesus. The Christians are the worst. The Allahu Akbar, the Christians, the Jews who have not returned to the Father, they're all the same. There's no difference. It's in their heart. Salvation is of the heart. It's not of the vices. It's of the heart. Isn't that amazing? But watch it. Just watch it for the next 2 weeks. It's on now, right now. Watch how they're attacking Donald Trump personal. They're not telling you anything. They did it to Joe Biden. They got rid of Joe Biden. And at first they said they loved Joe Biden. They were like going 90 going north, promoting Joe Biden. And when they looked like Joe Biden wasn't going to win, they dumped him like a hot cake. They figured out how to get rid of him, and they did. They dumped the man that they loved. And then they pick up this phony female. They pretend they love her, but they don't love her either. And she loved no one. Just pay attention. Watch the Democrats. They're just going perfect. They're just like you if you're not working on yourself. You're going to see yourself in the mirror of the Democratic Party. Or if you're working on yourself, you're going to see yourself in the mirror of Donald Trump. And it's not going to be about politics. It's not going to be about Republican or Democrat. You're going to see the evil operating through human beings. In the whole wide world, it's the same. God said, trust no angry person. An angry person is a murderer. Trust no one. An angry person is a murderer, and yet you say anger is good. Max is a first-time caller out of Florida. Max, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Jesse, I'm a big fan of yours. I've been watching you for like a year or so.
Thank you, Max. I appreciate it.
Yeah, so I called you today because last year I was homeless. I'm 23, by the way. I got kicked out of my parents' house kind of when I was 18.
Uh-huh.
So I was homeless a year ago, and I had no other options. So I had a caseworker that would find me a home here in Florida.
Uh-huh.
I live in Port Charlotte. And, you know, she's kind of pretty, you know what I mean? And she doesn't work for Catholic Charities anymore. The place that was paying my rent up till next month. But I ended up like 3 months after getting to know her, you know, we kind of hit it off and got to know each other. And now we're calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. I never had a girlfriend before. I had a girlfriend. She was black for a week, but then I got rid of her because you know how that is, brother. you know how they are, brother. You know what I mean?
Are you white?
I am.
Oh, okay.
I am.
Okay.
My grandmother's black, though, but my skin is white, so I just say I'm white.
How old are you?
I'm 23.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
So her parents are from Haiti. I might be not have a place to stay next month because the place that was paying for me, because I'm in college too at the moment, and the Catholic Charities, they're saying they're not going to pay for me to stay here anymore. She says she's thinking about moving in with me, and she'll be paying the rent, and then I'm paying half though, but yeah, how does it sound so far?
It sounds like you need to get a job. Why don't you drop out of college and get yourself a job so you can put a roof over your head and food on your table, and don't let that woman move in because it's just going to be trouble, especially if she's paying. You will regret that. Why don't you go and get a job instead of going to college?
Well, I have a part-time job at the moment installing impact windows and doors.
So why don't
I work 3 days a week.
Get a second one, and that way you'll be able to pay your rent and buy food.
All right. And then what about the whole relationship with her? So with her, the things that I do like is she's willing to listen to
don't
me.
say the name of the company you work for or anything like that, all right? But,
all right, my bad.
Okay, go ahead.
So the things I do like is she's willing to listen. Things I don't like, I don't feel like she's as intellectually inclined and fast to the whip like you and I are. You know what I mean?
Well, don't move in with her. Don't let her move in with you, and don't you move in with her. And that way you'll get to know each other and have a way to see about how the relationship is going to work. Don't try to make the relationship work. If it doesn't work by itself, don't try to make it's not meant to be. You're not supposed to try to make a relationship work. It's abnormal to work on a relationship, so don't do that. But don't let her move in with you, and go get yourself a second job so you can take care of yourself.
Right. So you think I should stop talking to her or no?
I mean, that's up to you. Just don't try to make it work. If you want to talk to her, fine. If you don't, fine. But you be in control of that and not her. You decide that.
And we must maintain order. The man is the head.
That's right. But for now, your primary thing should be to get yourself a job, a full-time job, so you can pay your rent.
Oh, and another thing, 1 Timothy 2, verse 12 states, a woman should not have any authority over a man. So everyone vote Trump 2024.
That's right. Thank you, Mac. I appreciate it. Let me go to Tony out of California. Let's see here. 888-775-3773. Tony, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, Jeffrey. How are you?
All is well, Tony.
All right. Are you ready for the big blue wave in 12 more days?
I'm sorry?
Are you ready for the big blue wave to overcome America in 12 days?
What's that? What's
Kamala Harris to make history.
I don't know what you're asking me, but let me ask. Are you voting for Kamala Harris?
Well, I don't reveal who I'm voting for, but
I don't
he's gonna
blame
be our
you.
next president.
If you
He's gonna
voted
be our
for
next president.
if you voted
He's
for
gonna be our
Kamala
next president, Jesse.
if you voted for Kamala Harris, I don't blame you. I wouldn't tell anyone either.
Well, the thing is, Jesse, is this.
Why should Kamala Harris be the next? Why should Kamala Harris be the next president?
Why? Because she's qualified, she's educated, and she is ready to take on America.
What's qualified? She's qualified in what way?
Well, in what way is she educated?
What way is she qualified?
She did not duck the draft like you and Donald Trump did.
What way is she qualified?
Which way is she qualified?
Yes.
She is the vice president now, isn't she?
What way is she qualified?
Is she the vice president now?
I'm asking you one more time. What way is she qualified?
I'm giving you your answer, but the thing is, she's the vice president of the United States.
What way is she qualified?
How is she qualified? She is the vice president now.
Tony.
So she can take one more step up and to be president.
Tony,
yes, Jesse.
What way is she qualified?
She's educated. She knows politics. She's been there 4 years already. That's make her qualified.
So you don't know how she's qualified for it, right?
I just told you, Jesse. Jesus Christ, what's wrong with you, man?
Nothing have you said that says that
to satisfy your taste.
Nothing you said that indicates she qualified. I asked you, how is she qualified? Dumb people have degrees, Tony. Dumb people become the vice president. There's nothing you can do. Somebody pick you to work with them. You're not being voted in as vice president. So what is it? What is it about Kamala Harris that made her qualified to be the president of the country?
The people of this country are sick and tired of Donald Trump's foolishness.
Tony, what is it that made Kamala Harris
of America?
What made Kamala Harris qualified?
Once again, Jesse. I mean, I guess you ain't cleaned the wax out your ears this morning, but the thing is, people are sick and tired. 800 days.
Tony, you're still not talking about Kamala Harris' qualification.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not. You haven't said anything yet.
Not to your approval.
All right, thank you, Tony. I got to take a break. The hate news. Thank you, Tony. The hate news, not the fake news. Back in a moment. So I wanted to talk to you guys about this subject. This is so emotional. About tipping. And there's this, I guess, a tipping guideline from an etiquette expert. I've never heard of that, but okay.
Tipping cows?
Here is, this first is when you should leave a tip.
Oh, I got you. We got tipping guidelines from some etiquette expert. We got when to tip. Hold on. This is from the ladies at the Skim, no less. When should I leave a tip?
The Skim?
The Skim is one of my morning news sources.
And they call the Skim?
The Skim.
I thought Skim was Kim
M's.
Kardashian's girly clothes line.
No, this predates Kim Kardashian.
So it's like an online news thing?
Uh-huh.
Oh, the Skim is?
Yeah, they grab information from AP and all kinds of sources.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
And you thought it was Kim Kardashian?
Yeah, does she got like a thing called Skim, and it's like real tight body fitting clothes.
How you know?
Bodysuit clothes.
How you know?
Everybody know.
No, how you know?
I don't know that.
My friend told me.
Who knows? Why your eyes red?
They're not red. I slept good last night. Stop lying.
Slept well.
I slept well.
He was Googling Skims all night.
I was up too late.
If you were black, he slept good. If you're white, you slept well.
Apparently, I didn't sleep that well.
Amazing. So the first one is
tipping. Is it ever okay to leave less than 15 to 20% when dining out?
we don't have anything to put up.
Well, I have an image, but it would take us off. I thought
okay.
stylistically, I was thinking it would be more interesting to keep us up.
Okay. All right. No
That's what I
problem.
was thinking.
Okay.
All this text, look how small it is.
All right.
Is it ever okay to leave less than 15% to 20% when dining out?
That's the first image, right?
Yes.
What do you say to
When
that,
to
Nick?
tip. They got a little more here, but you can respond.
What do you say to that, Nick?
What do I say? Oh, is it ever okay to leave? Okay. Overarching, should I just finish this image before we give our takes? Or
what do you say to that, Nick?
To 15 to 20%? When dining out,
so
no.
the first
not
one
usually.
is what?
Is it ever okay to leave less than 15 to 20% when dining out?
And you say?
I say when dining out at a restaurant, usually no.
No?
Yes, correct.
When you're dining out at a restaurant, it's not okay to leave 10 to 15%?
Usually.
Oh, and you say?
I'm confused on the question. So you're saying it's not okay to leave less or more?
The question is it ever okay to leave 10 to 15%?
Is it ever okay to leave less than 15 to 20% when dining out?
Oh, yeah. To me, I think it's definitely okay.
To leave less than 10 to 15%?
Because it's based on, to me, I base it on, and maybe I'm cheap, maybe I'm not, but I base it on how I'm feeling in the moment.
Oh, you cheap. You black.
Maybe so. But I base it on how it goes in the moment. You know what I mean? Like if they're good waitresses, and they tend to be for the most part pretty good, then I'll tip what I feel is what I want to tip. But I don't like no standard expectation of what I need to tip.
Right. And then you say it is okay or not?
I say
okay?
usually no. Basically, the take on tipping is this: you tip where you go, where you frequent. Okay, you even tip a place that you wouldn't normally tip if you frequent it and you like it. That's pretty much my standard, my criteria.
And you mean 10 to 15?
Service, yeah, or more. It's service, and if it's a place I frequent, and I probably frequent it because I like the service.
And who told you to leave 10 to 15%?
I always heard that, so it seemed I always use it as my baseline because I always heard it.
Oh,
So I use
okay.
it as my baseline, and I'll go below or above that depending on how I feel.
Oh, okay.
That's because what I heard.
Is it ever okay to leave 10 to 15% tip?
I reluctantly say yes.
It's okay to leave 10 to 15%?
Yes.
And why you say yes? Hake of the Hake Report.
Because, like Nick, I'm trained to tip between 15 to 20%.
So it's a training.
Who trained
yeah,
you
is it a
that?
So it's a training.
Who trained me? Whoever said that. Everybody always said that growing up.
So tipping for most people is textbook.
Oh yes.
On that
It's
part,
textbook
yeah. On the
learning.
percentage, it's all I got.
Yeah.
What?
On the percentage, that's all I have, right?
It's always
Society.
Yeah, it's always had to be 15 to 20%.
Said who?
So it's a teaching.
Yeah, the people.
What people?
The people that I heard growing up when I was a kid and when I was a young adult.
What if you don't want to leave that much? You just want to leave 3%, 2%, a dollar.
That's why I reluctantly said yes, because God loves a cheerful giver.
That's right.
And if you only want to do that much, then you should do that cheerfully, and they shouldn't be bitter about it.
Is it cheerful if it's taught to tip 15% though?
I'm taught and I'm cheerful, so
Well,
I don't know.
There you go.
God knows my heart. I don't even know my heart.
He knows. I don't like the fact that somebody somewhere telling me how much money I can and cannot leave.
I know.
Of my money.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get you guys now.
No, I
Before
hate
that,
all the rules around tipping.
Yeah.
I hate all the. I came up with my own thing, but the amount what to tip that came from training. It's
Right.
like in my mind, I'm like, I don't like all the rules on tipping, so my own rules are like, I tip good if it's a place I frequent and I like the service. But what's good? That was taught to me. Good is 15%.
And the restaurant make the decision, right?
Yeah.
sometimes.
But sometimes, oh, you mean they add the charge?
Yeah, they made the decision how much we should tip.
Sometimes they'd have suggestions at the bottom of the receipt.
Right.
They say, they go 20, 25. They go up to like 25% tip suggestions sometimes.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's weird.
If anything, it make me want to tip less when they tell me what to tip.
Right. And
But you shouldn't be influenced by that.
This is why you should not. This is
But
why
I know, but it makes you want to rebel.
This is why people don't like waiting on black people in restaurants. Because we ain't into.
Yeah.
And
we're not into how much you tell us to tip.
And you guys don't mind complaining.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's
even when you're wrong.
It's funny because at one point, like I understood it a little bit more with like the Uber drivers who deliver the food, like the Uber Eats or whatever. Because at one point I was a little lightweight food delivery driver, and when they would give those tips, it made a major difference. So when I order, I keep that in mind, but still, depending on how I'm feeling, is what I give, not based off of anything else.
What kind of difference made a major difference?
What do you mean?
You would make 50 cents on a trip.
Oh,
or you would make
no, because
$5.50.
a lot of those places on those like the Uber driving things, the bulk of the income is made by the tips.
Really?
Yeah, and they do help.
I know. I was reading online just recently about it, and they're like, oh, bought minimum, because these are drivers who are saying this, minimum $5. I'm like, $5?
Yeah, that's yeah.
Who made that
But
decision?
sometimes people would tip like 20, 30.
So you tip like that even though the driver ate some of your food on the way?
Long as
If
they
they
kept
have
it
it,
clean,
yeah.
presentable, had a smile on their face.
Isn't that amazing that the driver eats some of your food while on the way to bring it to you?
I've never had somebody eat my food, but
But
I had
you
somebody
wouldn't know.
but I had somebody stole it. No, you know, because with Uber Eats or whatever the other places are, they package it and they tape it down and all that stuff. So you'll know if somebody opened the bag and got in there.
Oh,
but people
There's ways around that.
I've had maybe
anti-tamper proof stickers. Please, let me add them.
You have your own.
I have very dexterous fingers. Okay, I know how to put stickers.
No,
back.
you could, but I had multiple drivers steal my food though. Never show up or.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And did you get your money back?
Those fries.
Yeah, they'll give you your money back, but it doesn't affect the driver. The driver has nothing to do with it. It just affects the restaurants.
And does the person get fired? The driver get fired?
I don't know. It's a good question.
That's an internal question.
Oh,
That's an
okay.
internal. Now, a lot of blacks will lie that they didn't get their food, or that it came in messed up, or they missing something, or
A lot of
order was
blacks
wrong.
would lie?
Yeah.
How you know?
I assume.
Racist.
I started to say I heard, but I'm not sure if I heard that.
A lot of black
No, but people will lie because
Yeah.
they'll just abuse it, and then they don't question you. They can't question you.
Oh,
The customer's always right.
what a mess.
Yeah.
And so the net.
But back to the tipping.
Yeah, net.
No, I mean we
What?
could go on more images. I was just gonna say something about tipping in general.
What's that?
I mean, honestly, the tipping thing is you have to have a more mature outlook on tipping. What I'm trying to say is it changes with what the service is. Like, for example, you always tip a bartender. Like, every drink you get at a bar, you're sitting there and they serve it to you. You always tip a bartender.
Oh, you do?
That's just because
I've
look,
been missing the
it
mark.
comes from a time. It comes from like when these services were. I mean, they're really, think about it. You're getting good at what? Serving a drink. Like, what is it that you're building? No, you're just providing comfort, and so that the culture was always to tip those kinds of people. I mean, they don't do much else, but now they get paid minimum wage. So
The audacity of someone telling you how much to tip is mind blowing to me.
Yeah. I feel like you would tip more, to your point. I feel like you would tip more if you didn't tell me what to tip.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, like Joel had the experience of having worked in the service industry as an Uber Eats driver, and everyone I've talked to or worked with who worked in the service industry before, they tip minimum 20%. Minimum.
Oh, when you worked?
No, I never worked in the service industry. But everyone I know who worked in the service industry, they tip a minimum of 20%.
No, but let's say the bartender, every drink is just like $1.
That's me always sit at the bar.
Yeah.
See, that's also a silly way to have 50% of your mind for everything.
Right.
That's silly. Like if you're in the drink situation I'm describing, that's like a $1 every beer or something.
So here's when you should leave less than 15% tip. Here's when you should leave less than a 15% tip.
When to leave less than 15%. The average tip is this whole thing. The average tip says here is 15%, and a nice tip is 20%. There are some instances when it is acceptable to leave less. However, there are a few guidelines that we have to follow. If you receive bad service, that service might have less to do with the server and more to do with the kitchen staff. Blame the kitchen. You have to remember the server did not prepare your meal. Instead, focus on how the server did. Make your grievance known and address the server. If you cannot get any resolution, then talk to the manager on duty. If they can fix it, great. If not, then this is when you allow your tip to reflect the service. Here in the U.S., servers earn their living based on those tips, so my recommendation is not to go lower than 10% from an etiquette perspective. However, I do believe it is acceptable to allow the tip to reflect the service.
Who wrote all this? I bet it came from a woman.
Because I'm not thinking about.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
It's a bunch of women.
Oh, well, no wonder.
It's Kim running
It's by women for women.
And the last one is.
But hold on.
Yeah.
He mentioned the servers, but tips, oftentimes they go to the kitchen too. Don't they like evenly distribute all the tips?
Depends where you work.
The server doesn't pocket the whole thing sometimes? Yeah, it depends on where you work and how you tip.
Yeah, but a lot of places pool the tips.
Yeah.
And they divvy them up by percentage depending on your position.
But are you saying that sometimes the person in the kitchen gets some of the tip?
Right.
So, no, it goes to the house.
Because it goes to everybody.
It goes first. The server, all the tips they get, they give it to the restaurant, to the owner. And then the owner divvies them up, takes a cut, divvies them all up.
The owner take a cut too?
Something like that.
What? So the
it's
owner
like
take a
3%
cut,
for the dishwasher,
worker take
6% for the cooks, something like that.
Well, nobody in there with much.
Oh, yeah.
I remember getting in a restaurant that would do to like 200 covers, like $1 million a year, so it's pretty good. Maybe like almost $200 a paycheck, but that was Canadian dollars.
Oh, and
Meaning
tips.
that it wasn't but $1 for everybody.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say about that?
Oh, since the kitchen did a bad job, then I get to give a lower tip if the tips are pooled, because you don't want to reward the kitchen with a big old tip. Just because the server is good doesn't mean that.
But the kitchen should get a decent pay anyway.
Right.
Since they in the back, they don't come out and serve. Why would they get a tip?
It's a scam.
And you said
It's that equality stuff.
And this is from the scam, right?
Yes.
I think it just came
I call
from-
it the skim, but you can call it the scam.
What is it called?
The skim.
The skim. Oh, okay. Amazing.
I think it just came from a different culture when there was no minimum wage and stuff.
Right.
And now they've Frankensteined it into all sorts of industries. I think Uber is like the latest to do an experiment with this, like tipping. How do we subsidize our own employees' wages in an industry that is varying all the times and our profits vary wildly?
Yeah.
We'll introduce tipping. Like it's strange.
Do workers, waiters, and waitresses make small checks or something? They don't make that much money?
Supposedly. I mean, they're so spoiled that they'll probably say that.
Why would they take a job that won't pay them a decent salary?
Well, the tips, that's why they take it, because they know how the tips work.
But then they're putting pressure on other people trying to get them a tip.
Yep.
Well, people do it. People do it.
Because nobody make a promise, okay, you go and get a low-paying job, I'm going to come in and tip you.
Well, I knew
15%.
I knew people who they get waitress jobs or waiter jobs in places that sell alcohol, because when they drink, then people are more likely to tip. So the ladies would typically be the waitresses because they know that they can just be friendly and nice, wear a short little top, and then the guys are gonna over tip.
What a ripoff.
Typically.
Girls that doing bottle
It's the
service,
hustle.
crazy.
What?
Girls that do bottle service,
Oh yeah.
rent in a day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
No, really.
I can imagine you used to work for Uber.
I know. It was just for a little while, but you can make a good
It just
living
look like
on.
you don't have sense enough to work for Uber.
And I was doing so well. I was getting tipped really well because of my service. I would go there with a nice shirt. I would be polite. I would smile at them, and I was getting good tip. You can make a living from that stuff if you do it right.
So why you quit?
I found other
You
stuff.
weren't making that much of a living.
No.
You do it for God sometimes, Jesse. You gotta do it for God sometimes.
God leads you elsewhere.
Did you ever? So you delivered to like Beverly Hills. Do you ever have to deliver to the hood?
Yeah, sometimes, and I didn't like it, so I just stayed around Beverly Hills, and because they tip the best.
Why do you like tipping for the blacks?
Because
why you didn't like deliver food to the blacks?
Because
he's black, by the way, in case you don't see him.
Don't. Never mind.
Because a lot of the times you're going into these apartments, and it's a lot harder to get in there into these apartment places. And the food restaurants around those areas are not professional, so you end up waiting for a long time. So
and then somebody steal your car while you're going upstairs to get
that didn't happen to me.
Leave the food.
But I was only there for several months. It wasn't long enough.
Oh, and last one is here's what you should do if the person you're with tips poorly.
Oh, dang.
If you recognize that the person that you're out with tips poorly, do what you can to make up for that. This could be a teaching moment. This could be a teaching moment for your friend. Some people just do not know that proper tipping etiquette is what proper tipping etiquette is. I would not bring it up to the person in that moment, but you can address it later. Say something like, I noticed the last few times we've been out, you've left a $2 tip. I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but typically an average tip is about X dollars. Allow some dialogue around it.
That's dumb.
This is a woman person.
It's definitely a mama spirit.
But my brother's
This
that
is
way.
dumb.
My brother's that way.
What?
He'll tell me, did you only leave that?
A mama spirit.
I'm like, what the?
I don't know your brother, but I can picture him doing that.
He does so every
I think I met him
time.
once,
He's
maybe.
like, you really only going to give that? Yep. Yep.
I quietly cheer people who don't tip on.
I wish someone would say that to me. Oh,
I know. You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
I wish someone would say, oh, you know how much I tip? Like, none of your business.
I know.
Get out of my pocket. What the?
Yeah.
This is insane that they make these kind of rules for you to tip. And the people fall for it.
It didn't used to be this intense, though. These tips and this
It
gratuity.
used to not be that way, period.
I mean,
when
as
I
far
was
as
young, going to a restaurant, nobody ever told you how much to tip.
Yeah, but they were
But
still
you
tipping.
Tip, you
Oh,
would
okay.
tip based on how the person served you.
Yeah.
Their personality.
But growing up, even for me, there's always been tips, but there was never like as much as it is now to where it's built into some of the bills now to where your tip is included. You don't get a choice if you want to. It's included in the bill in some of these restaurants.
I know.
Were you taught? Yeah, had you ever heard the 15 to 20%?
Nope. Until lately, over the years.
Yeah.
But not growing up at all.
But you grew up in the country.
Right.
Interesting.
You look like your shirt is on backwards.
On backwards?
Does the shirt look like it's on backwards?
It's pulling
Check
it
the
up.
seam.
because
It's modern.
Oh.
It's like one of those white shirts.
Are you sure you're not sleepy?
I'm not. My shirt's on backwards. My eyes are red.
We gotta go.
You must have went skating. Back in a moment. Thank you, guys. Let me go to Texas and talk to ONYX, a first timer. Let's see here.
Oh, Jesse.
ONYX, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Good morning, sir. It was actually a pleasure to talk to you once again. I believe I called this show around the year 2020 to discuss some relationship issues I was having at the time. And
okay.
We set up a counseling session with you, and I was able to make a clear decision. Now, guess what? I'm back in the same mud again.
What happened this time?
So I got divorced recently. Well, not recently. I don't know. That's in the past now. But 2021, I was divorced. 2 years later, I met a nice little lady again, and she was nice at first, and then she ended up turning out nice on nice. And now, I did the whole beta thing of, having her move in with me and going through hell and back, and eventually she ended up getting pregnant by myself. So now we're having even more issues, and I was silly enough to think that, having the kid would change things, but that's not the case here. So I just need some help making a decision now. I know you said that if the woman's abusive and she's giving you hell and back, throw her in jail and do all that stuff like that. We already been down that road, see? But now I'm at a point where I think my ego's getting to me, where I'm having my first child. I don't want to miss out on the event, but I know that I need to do what's right, which is to get away from this woman and get my own place and do all that, all that jazz right there. So what do you think about the whole situation?
Does she live in, what do I think about as far as what?
What do you think about my situation as far as what I described, as far as me making the right move to get away from a situation that doesn't appear to be working out for me?
So did she move into your place or you moved into her place?
Oh, no, sir. I'm old school. She moved into my place.
Oh, okay. And with your first wife, did you have children?
No, sir.
Oh, good. But with this woman, she's pregnant now for you.
Yes, sir. And we're not married. We're not married at the moment, so it's more of a pregnancy out of wedlock.
What made you repeat the same thing over again after going through the hell with your wife?
Well, I think it had to do with a lot to do with being lonely after the divorce. So I didn't really give myself time to heal. And I'm only telling you this because I've been watching your show lately, and I've kind of been picking up on the gems you've been dropping.
Right.
And so, so I realized it was because I was lonely and I didn't want to be alone. And when I met this girl, we had a lot to relate on. I was in a relationship, then the marriage with my last woman for about 7-8 years. And so she was also in a relationship for about the same amount of time. So that was kind of grounds for us to relate on. But then as time went by, I slowly but surely began to realize, like, maybe this isn't going to work out. But even still, I tried to force it because I wanted to keep somebody in my life. You understand?
And then you made a baby with her, and you thought because you made a baby with her, you should stay with her?
Yeah, I thought the attitude and everything would change because, I'm a working man. I go to work, I come home, I take care of her, and I really don't have a life outside of that.
Really?
And so, I just try to do the whole provider thing like my father did. But funny story is, I did talk about this with my father, and I realized I'm going through the same thing he went through with my mother.
Yeah. Every couple go through the same thing. Some situations might be different, but it's the same thing. And relationships don't work because of that.
Right.
And so if you should get out of this relationship, will you end up repeating the same thing again?
At this point, Jesse, I think I'm just trying to seek the kingdom now and want for what's right, because it takes two for me to learn certain things. I grew up pretty hard-headed in life, and sometimes it took more tries than one. But with this here, I done spent a lot of years wasting time trying to keep a woman in my life that, is the wrong woman.
And what will you do when you get lonely again? You will get lonely again. What will you do?
Well, I've been doing the silent prayer day and night ever since I've been feeling this way. And so it's been very liberating for me to not be lonely and not feel crazy in my head for making the decisions that I'm making, because I did get my own apartment. I'm moving out at the end of this month by myself. So
you are moving out?
Yes, sir. I've gone and made moves already to go in that right direction. But as far as your question about me getting lonely again, like I said, I've been doing my silent prayers, and it really takes away that feeling of feeling lonely and going back in my head and looking at the good times and the memories and things like that. I know all that stuff, it was here once and now it's gone. So,
and so what did she say about you moving out now? She knows you. Is she aware that you got your own place again?
Yeah, but I didn't tell her where I'm going, see, because she's the type that would try to look for me.
Oh, good. Yeah.
So she's already in high disagreement about it. She's trying to use the kid as an excuse towards me about it. And I'm like, well, you know, when I'm not around, your family tends to step up. So if I stay here, they're not going to step up, and we're just going to keep going through the same song and dance.
And
So somebody's got to make a move.
even though the relationship is not working, she doesn't want to break up.
Yeah.
Oh, amazing.
And we're and we're currently living together at the moment too. So, you know, I sometimes if things get rough, I got to go sleep outside in the car and let her cool off, and then she'll try to knock on my window, and I'm like, no, go away. And she won't go away. I'll drive off and go sleep at the park. I just don't want the drama to increase while we're there, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm just being patient, being quiet, and sticking to my guns about what I need to do in life. But I would just want to know, hey, like, am I making the right move here? Am I doing the right thing?
Well, as far as that, only you can make that decision if you should
Right.
do it. But the one thing I want you to know, if you haven't already discovered, the reason that you ended up in the same situation is because when you got out of the first situation, you went back into your mind and you consulted with thoughts. And the thoughts told you, well, the next situation is going to be better because the next woman is different. And you believed it. And so when you met this woman, it was all a showcase personality. It was a showcase relationship because both of you put on a front. You both pretending that you were the right. You pretended you were the right guy for her. She pretended you were the right. She was the right girl for you. But it's always a pretense because you're still consulting. Whenever you consult with your mind, you're consulting with evil. All thoughts are all lies all the time. And what people do, they get out of one situation, no matter what it is, and they go right back into their mind and consult with evil, and they end up in the same situation. You cannot, the way to avoid this ever happen again, you cannot have a relationship with thoughts at all. You can't believe anything that the thoughts tell you about you or about the next situation because you are consulting with the devil, and you spend the rest of your life repeating the same thing over and over again. So you got to stop listening to thoughts.
Amazing. So I had a pretty beta mentality after I got out of the last one, and I'm starting to realize that later.
And also, again, you make the decision, but the idea of you getting your own place and this woman getting her own place is a good idea, and so that you can see what's going to happen. If the relationship is meant to be, it will happen on its own. It will happen naturally. You are not supposed to spend one moment trying to make a relationship work. Either it works on its own or it doesn't work at all. You're not supposed to put effort into a relationship.
Understood. See, that was my mistake. I was putting effort into it because that's what she was, in a sense, asking me to do. You know, she would get mad at me when I came off like I didn't care because, you know, hey, where you want to go eat? Oh, it don't matter. Or, you know, how do I look in this dress? Oh, you know, you look good, baby. And I just go about my day. But she wants me to give her, like, details, and she wants me to be super emotional about the relationship. And so when I'm not, she gets very upset with me.
Because she wants you to worship her. Because
and I refuse to.
when you met her, you worship her. You told her how beautiful she was. You did and said all these things that were not true, and that was worshiping her, and she worshiped you. And when you got with each other, it all changed, and now you're trying to get something from each other that neither one of you have, and that is love. You don't have love to give one another. That's what you're fighting for. So I would do what you want, but I would recommend that you do get your own place, and then you start, this time, stay with seeking the kingdom of God and what is right, the Spirit of God, and He will lead you in all your ways, and you will be fine. Life will happen on its own without your effort at all.
All right, Jesse. Amen to that, man. That's the kind of game that I needed because I was really conflicted about what was going on concerning my kid being in the mix and whatnot.
Well, the kid, unless she has overcome her anger, she's going to screw your kid up. And there's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, am I wrong for letting her know that? Because she didn't want me to leave, and I told her the kid's going to suffer regardless if I'm there or not. Because if I'm there, would be arguing and setting a bad environment for the child doing that. And if I'm not there, you just going to turn them against me.
Right. And the reason that, because she's not upset that you're leaving because of the kid. She's upset you're leaving because you no longer will be around to wish of her and to make her feel good and to do that. Mothers don't care about the children at all. It's never about the children.
Yeah, I had that same talk with my mama when I went and forgave her.
Yeah.
You know, I told her straight up, I was like, hey, you're terrible at your job, but you did the best you could, you know, and, you know, I still love you, you know, but not like that fake love. Well, she took it as a what the type of moment, you know. She had to sit back and think about what I said because I didn't really plan to tell her. I just kind of was there visiting one day, and it just came out of me. I just took her to the room and told her, hey, I need to talk to you real quick.
Yeah.
And the talk didn't last no more than 10 minutes. I mean, she took a minute to soak up what I had told her, and then she told me, well, I did the best I could, you know, like every mama say.
Yeah.
I did the best I could, and, you know, then she started talking about my daddy and all that, and I was like, well, don't be blaming my daddy either, because y'all were young. See, my mama got pregnant when she was 18. My daddy was about 23.
Yeah.
So, you know, I remember growing up with my mother after my dad had left at a very, like, you know, at her young age, which, you know, I'm at that age, too. I'm 30 years old. She was about 30 raising us, me and my sister.
Amazing.
So, I got to.
Can you hold on a minute?
Yes, sir.
Hold on. Let me take a quick break. When I come back, straight to the phones. Onyx. Oh, yeah. Onyx out of Texas. So Onyx is, he was married. He broke up with his wife and ended up with another woman, same situation. And now he has a problem with that relationship and he's moving out of it. And Onyx.
Yes, sir.
Okay. One thing, do you realize when you felt lonely, what did you learn about that? Because you said it was loneliness that caused, one of the things that happened, you felt lonely, and that's what caused you to go and get the same woman over again. A different woman, but the same thing. What did loneliness feel like?
Man, loneliness feels like, I can't say the word on your airways, but it feels like the B word, man. You know how women just keep nagging, we got a word for that?
Right.
So it feels like being and complaining to myself, and it's like I'm making it all about me. Oh, I'm lonely. Oh, I ain't got nobody next to me. Oh, I'm bored. I need somebody to talk to. Let me talk to this nice girl. Maybe I should call her over. You know, like, it gets to that point where you don't see why the first time it happened. You just go back and do it all over again. And so,
and will you repeat the same thing over again?
Oh, nah, I don't intend to. And if I do, then I'm not going to call you back.
Amazing. Do you realize there's no such thing as loneliness?
Yes. Now, currently, at this point in age, I do. But when I was 2 years ago, I didn't.
And why do you realize now there is no such thing as loneliness?
I think, one, because I've been doing the silent prayer and I've been watching my thoughts like a movie kind of in my head and watching, you know, the part 1 of ONYX and the part 2, and now we have part 3, and it's like, well, is it going to be the same ending to the last 2 movies, or is this going to be a different ending? You know, so I'm shooting for a more positive, different ending. But on top of that, it's also because I've been listening to your show as well and hearing the other young men that been calling, going through similar situations. I'd be like, wow, he sound like me, you know. But at the same time, everybody's situations are kind of similar. I think in the Bible it said we all go through stuff, but we're going through similar things. And then, I just kind of took that and ran with it. You know, I just didn't really want to be a part of that issue anymore, and I'm hoping that I can find something better to do in life instead of just, you know, being a beta male.
Well, here's what I recommend. Do what you want. Now that you starting. It sounds like you're paying more attention to you. You got to realize that there's no such thing as loneliness. There is no such thing as you. You do not exist. And all those thoughts and feelings that you will get, they are not you. They are not real. They are just illusions in your imagination. And that you got to, in order for you to be free, you got to stop listening to those illusions. So, you know, God said we have once to live and once to die, right? You got to die in order for you to have a life. And you got to die from the imagination, from the thoughts and feelings, because they're not real. And if you believe that they are real, you will repeat the same thing over and over again. But if you can pay attention to you and just stay present and watch those thoughts, that ego will be taken away from you.
Right on, Jesse. Right on. I also had another question, like a kind of food for thought thing for everybody in the room. So a while back, I read in the Bible that when God made the woman for Adam, he said he made the woman for him because it's not good to be alone. I don't really know how to interpret that, and I'm just going to leave it on the table for y'all.
Meaning that God wanted Adam and Eve to make some children without him having to do it with his hand over and over again. It was just so they can come together and create children.
Gotcha.
It's not like he was doing it so the man wouldn't be lonely. He wasn't doing it because the woman was special. He wasn't doing it for the reason that you've been told.
Yeah, I've been told plenty of reasons on that scripture, and I feel like that's part of the reason why I started that little cycle. You know, going to church and going to non-denominationals and Baptist church. I've been all around them churches, but they all seem to be kind of saying the wrong thing.
One of the problems is that most, 98% of human beings cannot live with themselves. They can't be alone, and because they think that the false self is them, and they keep wishing evil, calling it good. But until you can learn to be alone, and when I say learn, until you see what it is to be alone, you're never going to be any good with anyone.
Not on. You got to know yourself, kind of like the Bible said too.
Right.
Know yourself.
Know thyself. Once you really get to know yourself, you'll become free.
But that opens up a lot of, that's an eye-opener for me. I don't want to take too much of your time. I just want to say I see why Jesus was moving the way he was, because he knew he was connected to his Father. He knew himself.
Life,
he didn't let nobody else's actions bother him.
Yeah, life is about every man and every woman is yearning for a return to the Father, but Satan is telling them they're yearning for something else. If they had more money, if they had a bigger house, if they had a wife, or if they had children, if they had a family, if they had friends, if they had this or that, if they could be the next president or this or that, Satan is telling them that will make them happy, and none of those things will ever make you happy. It's a yearning for the Father. It's not a yearning for a family or children or anything. So just work on this time. Just work on yourself, and don't be mad at that woman because she was already screwed up when you met her, and you were already screwed up when she met you. And two screwed up people got together and gave their hell to each other. So don't be mad at her. It's not her fault that you have to deal with your own issue, and it's not your fault that she has to deal with them. Already screwed up. All right.
Yes, sir. All right. One time for the biblical question about the approval thing.
Why do you need anyone else's approval?
I think that is split up into certain things. Some people need approval for.
No. Why do you need anyone else's approval?
Why do I personally need approval?
Yeah. The biblical question is, why do you need anyone else's approval?
Oh, man, I'm so sorry. I misunderstood that question. I had a whole answer for that. But for me personally...
It's always a good, easy to answer about somebody else, but the questions are set up for you to know yourself.
All right. So let me rephrase my answer then. So for me personally, I don't really need anybody's approval because I think the results for how I perform and what I do in life is not in my hands. I think it's just a natural thing. Some people are looking for a certain thing. Some people are looking for, a certain type of person or criteria to fit a certain type of job. And if I can't perform to those standards, I mean, it is what it is, and it wasn't.
Amazing. Well, I'll put my little 2 cents in on Sunday. Thank you for responding. And stay with the prayer and watch your imagination and do nothing about it, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Jesse. It was good to talk to you again. I hope to talk to you in the future now.
You too, buddy. I wish you well.
All right, likewise. Thank you.
All right. Appreciate it. Thank you. Let me go quick to a first-time caller out of Pennsylvania. Ron, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Welcome, Jesse. He black.
Welcome, Ron.
I'm doing well. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
I called to ask you about truly overcoming anger that was, it started from childhood.
Yeah.
With angry parents and angry grandparents raising me, and how that affected me even up to the age of 49 that I am now. I've been listening to your show recently, and I started doing the silent prayer, and I also been trying to release the anger, and it has worked somewhat. But the issue is I'm in a relationship, a marriage that makes me irritable and angry. And I know it's coming from me, but it's problematic. I've been married about almost, I would say, 27 years, and it's an unhappy marriage. Like you would say, I'm living in hell. So my question for you is it okay to divorce when you're living in hell with a person and it doesn't seem like nothing is going to change? And also, how to completely overcome this anger. Do I have to go into exile and live completely by myself so that I can learn to release the anger?
Number one, let me ask us first. Have you gone and forgiven your parents?
I can't say that I did. I got back with my father the last year and a half of his life. Me and him got back on really good terms, and we became really good friends. But I didn't say, I forgive you, Dad, because I wasn't watching your show at the time, and I didn't know that I had to do that.
Right.
And with my mother, it's the same thing. Like, she died. They both died 6 months apart last year.
Oh, okay.
So when my mother died, I didn't have any really closure from her either, because I was in hell with my mother pretty much my whole life.
Yeah.
Like, I went 12 years without even speaking to her. So the last phone call, she did tell me she loved me, but I didn't tell her I loved her back. And now listening to you, I know I didn't tell her I loved her back because I had no love.
Right. Absolutely. Well, do you see that they could not help themselves?
While listening to you in the last week or two, I realized that they couldn't help themselves. And I said, and I told them I forgive them, even though they're deceased.
Right on.
I know. I talked to my father and I talked to my mother, and I said, "Hey, I forgive you, and I apologize for any wrongdoing I did to them." So I did that both silently.
Well, you don't need to apologize for the wrongdoing you did to them. You need to forgive them by realizing just as they couldn't help themselves, you couldn't help yourself. But do and feel the way that you feel. It's not you, it's something else driving you. And just as you can't help yourself, they can help themselves. And when you can admit that you were wrong for being angry at them, then God will forgive you.
Because I know now that I'm wrong for being angry with them because of you and your show. And I just came into this realization in the last week. I've been binge watching your videos. And I learned so much in a short period of time about myself.
Right on.
And I came to the realization that I have to let go of this anger because it's eating me up and making me sick.
Yes.
Even physically even.
Anger destroys every fiber of the body. Everything it destroys because anger is evil. It's not from God, and anger is not necessary. There's never, ever, ever, no matter what happens in life, there's never a reason to be angry. So, for you have children with your wife?
Yes, they're all grown now, 22, 24, and 26 years old.
Okay. And so you wondering if you should divorce her because it's hard to live with her?
It's almost becoming unbearable that we're so different, and we both learn. I learned this from you. We both came into the relationship as damaged people.
Yes.
And I didn't realize I was damaged until the relationship started playing out, and I just became more angry and more sad and depressed as time went on.
Oh, okay. Do you argue with her?
I try not to, because I try not to lose my temper. I can't have a conversation with her without her always never taking accountability. She never is wrong. She's one of these type of people. So I can't even talk to her about anything because it's just going to end up in an argument because she never admits any wrongdoing.
Oh, okay. Here's what I recommend for now. And then you'll see what to do and what to do. One thing will lead to another one. Number one, never argue with her, or anyone really, but never argue with her again. Lay your weapon down. No more arguing. All right? Don't try to prove anything to her. Don't argue with her. Because your anger, the anger you have and the troubles you have are inside of you. They're not outside of you. They're outside of you, inside of other people, but those are their issues, not yours. And so everything that you're thinking and feeling is inside of you, right? And so all you got to do now, Ron, is do the silent prayer and watch those thoughts. Don't call them you. Don't name them you. Don't call them good or bad, right or wrong. You just watch them because it's just a thought in the mind, and it's not even real. It's an illusion. But because you believe it for so long, you have identified with them, you believe that they're you believe that they're real, and you're overreacting to them. Just watch those thoughts. Let your wife act and do whatever she wants. She's doing it to herself. Don't be angry at her. Don't argue with her, and just work on yourself. You'll be fine.
Okay. One question.
And you'll see later, you'll see if you should stay with her or not. And if you see that you should leave, you just leave. It won't be a big deal. You just leave. But if you see you need to stay, you'll be able to stay and you'll have peace and she'll be miserable.
Okay. As far as concerning the thoughts, I understand exactly what you're saying. Don't pay any attention to them because they're not from you.
Right.
Right. Well, then how can I proceed forward, even in life financially, if I don't try to think about financial solutions? How can I deal with that without thinking?
You should think about financial things because those things are practical. And God has given you the ability to do that so you can function on earth in a practical way. You need to live on earth, right? So you need to know how to figure out how to run your business or how to make more money or make your money work. That's how you survive. But don't get a sense of identity from your finance, from other people, or from your house, or from your wife, or anything. Just don't get an identity from it and use it as a tool to function on earth.
Okay. I heard in your advertisement that you have a book, a 7-step book.
Yes.
For spiritual and financial advice, and I'm going to purchase that book.
Yeah.
Because I need some financial advice because it's like the saying, you have a house full of cars is going to collapse.
Right.
And that's the way it is in my financial situation right now. Behind in mortgage, behind in car payments, et cetera, et cetera. The sheriff even came to the door with the, getting ready to put you out in however many days. So I'm stressed out financially. So I should ignore those thoughts of stress.
Yes.
And just use my God-given brain to try to figure out a way financially to move forward.
Yes, because you need a place to live, roof over your head. You need food on your table, but don't be trying to get the biggest house in the neighborhood. Don't try to have food that gonna rot away. A simple meal and a simple roof over your house is enough for today, right? And the next day will take care of itself. And the next day, live a simple life. Don't try to live a life compared to anyone else.
Okay.
Don't make money a big deal. You just need it to function on earth in a practical way.
Well, one of the reasons I'm not, going to give all the blame to the other person.
Right.
But one of the reasons we're in this situation is because she always assumed control of the bills. Beta, I know it. I know you're about to say it. But she keeps making wrong, bad decisions, and this is what's led us into this financial situation. And that's one of the reasons why I told you I really need to leave. I feel like I need to divorce her and
so
leave.
So why have you left her already then? Why have you stayed with her this long? Can you hold on a minute?
Sure.
Hold on. Let me take a quick break. Amazing. I want to go quickly back to Ron. Hey, Ron.
I'm Jesse.
So I want to ask. So how long you been married?
27 years about.
So why have you, now that the kids are adults, why have you stayed with her?
Well, the last time I attempted to leave, like a beta, she started crying, and I felt sorry. I allowed the guilt to get to me, and I said if I leave her, I'm going to leave her with all of these, housely bills and things like that, and I let that stop me from going.
Oh, and why did you not take away the finance from years ago when you realized that she didn't know what she was doing?
Well, it was a gradual thing. It's just her decision-making got worse and worse as time went on. It didn't start out that way. And it started out that way because, like many of us that are fooled into taking social programs, she took Section 8, convinced me that it was the way to go. And then, of course, they told her we were making too much money. So she said, well, I have to take you off the paperwork. And that's how it all began.
Wow. What a mess.
What a democratic mess, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But listen, today is a brand new day. It's every day is renewed, right? So I want to encourage you, and you'll see later if you should stay with her or leave. And you'll be able to either stay and be at peace or leave and be at peace. It won't be difficult at all. But for now, you do the silent prayer and just watch those thoughts. Don't call those feelings you. You're not your thoughts and you're not your feelings, right? You're not the anger. You're not the bad feelings or the good feelings. You're none of those things at all. It's just that you have believed that you were those things and you've grown into darkness rather than overcoming it. So just watch those feelings. Do not call them you. And I promise you, man, if you stay with it, and especially if you practice staying present and stop calling thought you're going to have a real life.
Well, I want to thank you because you helped me make some changes already. I stopped playing video games and I stopped smoking weed for about a month now. After 20-something years of smoking weed, I realized what it was doing to my mind.
Yeah.
So I've made some changes already, and I'm going to make a lot more. And I will call you back and let you know about the progress.
Okay.
But I want to thank you because you demonstrate what you're actually saying. I've watched countless videos of yours where people calling you coon, Tom, screaming at you, saying you're a race traitor, and I've never seen you get angry.
Because
so you're an example of what you're speaking.
And I promise you, if you stay with it, the spirit of anger will be taken away from you because it's a spirit. And it's in your imagination. It's not in you. It's in your imagination. And if you don't catch those thoughts, you will feel it in your body, but you're not your body. It's just a feeling in the body. But just watch it. Don't call it you. And the Father will take those spirits away. You'll be fine. Just stay with it.
Thank you, sir.
All right, buddy. Let me know how it goes.
Okay, I will. I'll call back.
All right. I want to just play this one thing about anger, and then I get back to the callers. And this is from the Daily Mail. And I really want to know from you, is anger justified, right? I personally know there's never a reason to be angry, period. It's just abnormal to be angry. But I want to know from you, is anger justified? This is from the Daily Mail. A diagnosed narcissistic sociopath shared a video about her struggle with realizing she thrives on feeling intense hate and rage. All human beings thrive on that. That's why they hold on to it. They get a thrill from it. But anyway, she thrives on it, on hate, intense hate and rage, knowing that the average person should despise their reaction. Watch this first soundbite from the Daily Mail.
Hi, if you're new to my page, I'm professionally diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder. I was the ripe age of 26 when I realized that most people don't actually enjoy feeling emotions like hate and rage. I knew some people didn't like those emotions, but I genuinely did not know that most people don't enjoy feeling those things. I do. Upon realizing that this wasn't normal, I decided to introspect and kind of explore why I enjoy emotions like hate and rage. For me, my ASPD blocks out and blunts a lot of my emotions. I lack specific emotions like empathy and remorse, and a lot of my other emotions are pretty dulled. That being said, I think that I enjoy emotions like being full of hate and being full of rage because they're intense. They feel real. A lot of my other emotions are very quick passing or very dulled and don't necessarily feel real. They're more superficial. It's stimulating and it brings me a sense of enjoyment, whereas typically I just feel like an empty void.
Is she acting out or is it real? 'Cause what she's saying is true, but is it real?
Right, but she's using all these words. She's using all these medical terms. APD, my APD, blah, blah, blah.
Does she has Asperger?
Apparently she has narcissistic sociopathic disorder.
But every human being on earth love the pain of anger. They love the thrill that anger gives them. They love the thrill, and they say, even when they call it, oh, I feel so angry, I feel so miserable, narcissistic, they're doing it. The reason human beings hold on to anger is because they love the thrill of anger.
Incredible. And just wait till she discovers that she can get the same thrill from so-called empathy. She said, I don't feel empathy is not it's not intense. Only hate and rage is intense. And that's why I'm stimulated by it. Just wait till she discovers.
Every human being is stimulated by it.
Yeah.
That's why human beings justify anger. They say, well, everybody get mad. Anger is good. You just have to control it. You need anger. What they'll tell you, they love their misery. They love the anger. They love the thrill. Here's where she explains why she like anger and hate. Like,
out of all the emotions that I do feel, anger is one that I experience the most intensely. I don't have any issues with feeling anger, and so I think I like that because it brings me a sense of stimulation, it helps my boredom, and it allows me to feel real and human. This is why I like confrontation, why I seek out fights with other people, why I engage in risky behavior. All of these things are an attempt to seek stimulation and to feel something and feel real and feel alive in a world where I typically don't really feel much of anything. Things like that, like anything that brings me a sense of adrenaline in any type of way, is something that I seek and go after. I like the power behind emotions like hate. So whereas for most people, hate and anger seem to be something that causes them distress, that doesn't feel good to them, those emotions feel good to me. I like feeling them and I seek them.
And she's wrong in that most people don't like their anger, but she's right in that she loved the thrill of it, and that's good that she can admit it. She loved the thrill. Most angry people are not going to admit that they don't love the thrill, the intense pain of anger. They love it. That's why they hold on to it. If they didn't love it, they would let it go. They love that thrill of feeling good, quote unquote, what they call good, And then they love the thrill of coming down to anger, going back up to so-called feeling good. They love it. That's why they won't let it go. Amazing. But she can at least admit it. But she's still stuck with it. Amazing. A psychopath. And all angry people are psycho. They are narcissistic psycho people. You love your anger. That's why you hold on to it. And black people love anger. Really. If you try to take the anger away from, not all blacks, but most, not all. But if you try to tell black people to drop their anger, it'll cuss you out. And that's why they don't want to forgive. They want to believe that whites are their problems. They want to believe that slavery is their problem, or Jim Crow, or they need this and that, because they cuss each other out. They shoot and kill each other because they love the thrill they get from the anger. And all people love it, except for those who want to overcome it. Amazing. What do you think about that video?
It's so interesting in many levels, because I wonder if someone can speak that honestly about anger and stay stuck with it long. You know, you have to wonder if, although she learned that from the academics, can you really? It's so honest the way she put it, but it's also such a charge against the whole mental health world in one video, because here they are telling her that this is her,
right?
That this is her, and
lost people telling lost people that it's them. So,
and telling her that she's unique in some way when everybody feels like this. It's crazy.
Every human being on this side of the heaven. And also, she's not going to overcome it because she truly believes that it's her. Mm-hmm. She thinks the anger is her. Amazing.
And that's the whole industry.
That's my first time
worship
seeing
of self.
Yeah.
That's
absolutely.
the whole mental health industry.
My producer Derek gave me that this morning. That's my first time seeing it. And it's sometimes on these things like this, I don't know if the people are acting or is it real or not. But this might be real. She might be serious about it. You think it's real, Nick?
I don't know.
It's hard to know, huh?
It's hard to know, you know. I remember there was a thing when these women online, social media, they had like Tourette's, and they would start yelling obscenities.
Yeah.
They would just be like, they'd sell, you know, I'm not going to cuss, but.
Right.
And they got really famous doing that. And I always wondered, is that really Tourette's, or are you just yelling obscenities? Like,
yeah, people are desperate to get attention, and so they would do anything nowadays to get it. So I don't know if it's real, but it's definitely true as to what she said about the anger.